Bro, I dry swallowed 4 perk 30s in the back of a cop car with a camera in my face. If we could find that mugshot, dude, it'd be worth, it'd be worth gold, bro. It'd be worth its weight in gold, that mugshot, dude. I still have never seen it to this day. I don't know how I kept it together, right?
We have Joey from Cleveland, drove down, which is much appreciated.
Yeah, man.
Anybody that travels to come out and do our show, we appreciate it because, you know, it's time out of your day, man. It's Saturday. So thank you.
Well, thank you guys. You guys are, again, giving me an incredible opportunity to potentially spread a message of hope to a lot of people, man.
Yeah. That's the goal.
I feel extremely grateful to be here. So
cool. Well, I love to hear that. That's that's the goal, is to spread a message of hope and hear your story and where you came from and how the hell you ended up in a polo Ralph Lauren sweatshirt today and coming up from Cleveland. So tell us about where you grew up, how you grew up, and what things looked like for you as a kid.
Well, I had a really normal childhood, you know what I mean? I don't have any crazy, sad story to tell you guys about, you know, my childhood. I believe that any kid would be lucky to grow up the way I grew up. My mother was incredible. You know, like, none of my friends would ever want to come stay the night at my house because my mom was always up our ass, like, you know, so we would go, you know, over to my buddy's house whose mom works third shift and didn't give a shit what we were doing. But she is an incredible woman, and I believe that anything good that you can see in me without knowing me personally, it came from her.
I love that. I say the same thing about my dad. I feel the same way. He raised me well, and thank God for that, because my mom was a train wreck. So I appreciate that comment. That's cool.
Yeah, so I guess my story really doesn't start until 17, 18 years old. I never really even, you know, when I was 12 years old, I found weed. You know, I discovered marijuana. And
where'd you find it?
Actually, so one of my buddies, his mom, like, that was the spot to go. Like, his mom was already letting him smoke pot at,
that was the party house.
Yeah,
like
12 years old. He was actually a distant cousin of mine. But, you know, I grew up in a very small town. My high school, Jefferson, Ohio. It's nobody even knows about it.
What,
Yeah.
West Jefferson?
Ashtabula County.
Okay.
So it's damn near Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But I remember a couple of my buddies, like, I was like the good kid, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't smoke my first cigarette till I was 18 years old.
Damn, bud.
Wow.
But a couple of my buddies, they got into smoking weed, and they were like just hyping it up, and I'm like, you know, I knew one day I'm like, I'm gonna try this, you know, and I loved it. Soon, you know, it was incredible, you know. Every weekend, you know, it turned from that to, like, you know, by the time I graduated high school, I was smoking pot every morning. You know,
wake and bake.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'd be standing waiting for the bus, dude, smoking out of a tinfoil bowl. Crumble that motherfucker up.
Hell
and
yeah.
Throw it in the ditch, dude, as the bus pulled up. You know, I'm blowing a hit of weed out. It was a blur, honestly. I think that I didn't really notice any turmoil in my family, like, you know.
Is Dad around?
He was at this point.
Okay.
He was. You know, I witnessed, like, some fights, you know, as a kid. You know, they would get into it or whatever. But for the most part, you know, everything was cool, man. Like, this was like before the evils of the world, you know, in my life. You know, we had normal holidays and Christmases, and it was fucking awesome, dude. And then
Did you graduate high school?
I did, yeah. Barely,
Right on.
but yeah, I did.
Barely, but you did.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Still got the diploma.
I started selling weed. I grew up very, very with no money. You know what I mean? We were dirt poor. You know, I started selling weed in 9th grade because I didn't want to have free lunches and Walmart clothes and stuff like that. I had free lunches, but I would, because I'm a fucking maniac with an ego and pride issues. I would buy my lunch anyways. But yeah, I things were good. We actually lived in a house that we owned. Like, I don't really know how that got ruined, but we ended up in the last house that we lived in together as a family. We were renting it, and for me, this is kind of where it starts. I mean, there's 9th grade to, what I'm about to tell you guys, just having my way, selling weed, fucking.
Did you ever have any, like, prior education or exposure, or, like, anybody talk to you about drugs and alcohol before this shit, other than Dare?
Dare, dog.
Dare, yeah.
I'm 89, dog, so definitely grew up in the Dare era.
It's in my age, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm glad you brought that up, dude, because, I remember my dad would, like, condition me on what to say. Like, if your teacher ever asks you this, you say this. Like, so, like, I was taught to not trust authority and to lie at a very early age, because, my dad is an alcoholic, I don't know how you want to say that, but, like, he's managed to evade legal consequences, so he's never had to.
His whole life?
Yeah, dude.
Man,
he's never had to deal with it the way, I did.
That is incredible.
And what kind of questions is he telling you to avoid? Like,
just like just the basic shit, To my knowledge, he was he's like, I found pictures of myself as a baby. He had a little 18-foot bass boat, and I'd be in his lap, and he'd have a joint in his hand.
Okay.
He never really liked me, man. Like, and still to this day, I'm 35 years old, and I'd be lying to you guys if I said, like, it doesn't bother me. Like, like, I still wonder how a father doesn't want to, like, have a relationship with his son. You know what I mean? Like, he used to take me everywhere, dude. We used to live in Georgia when I was a baby, and dude, the locals would call him Crazy Yankee because he'd put me on his back, dude, and fucking get us in the craziest fishing spots, dude. Fucking water moccasin infested waters, dude, and he's fucking.
With the baby strapped on him.
Yeah, dude. It was cool. He used to take me fishing, and then about until the age that I got old enough to talk, and my mom would trick me into telling on him for smoking pot. So. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He stopped fucking with me.
Got in his way.
Really?
And, yeah, like.
When you say he stopped fucking with you, what do you mean by that?
It's just like, it's kind of hard to explain. I'll try to get into it a little, like, throughout my story, but like, it just, the way I interpret it now is that, like, I resemble my mother so much, you know what I mean? And I don't know, man. He's just he's a different kind of human, man.
Black and white kind of guy.
Just the most manipulative, selfish person I've ever known in my life.
Well, he's an alcoholic, so.
Yeah. So we didn't really have much with each other growing up until I turned 16. Obviously I told you I was smoking weed when I was 12, so we didn't have anything in common until I turned 16. We go on our only family vacation as a family. We went to Florida. My brother was 6. I was 16. And, we told my little brother that, we're going to Florida for your birthday. Really, we were going down there to see my great-grandma before she passed on. Like, she was getting up in age, and we knew that we weren't going to see her. It was my mother's mother.
Okay.
My grandma's mother, right?
Okay.
So, this is a funny story, actually. So, I gotta make sure I got a bag of weed before we go down to Florida, right? And so, like, they got the whole shit packed up. They're ready to go. I fucking we had a Chevy Blazer at the time, dude. I take the Blazer all the way out to Rock Creek from Jefferson to pick up a 1/4 ounce of weed.
Is that far?
20 minutes. Where I grew up, like, nothing's close. It's not like the city at all.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, like, in my head, no, but, like, probably to normal people, yeah.
Okay.
But, so they're fucking, he's flipping out on me. He's pissed.
So they're just waiting on you.
They're sitting in the driveway ready to go, and I'm fucking speeding home from Rock Creek with a fucking quarter ounce of weed, right? And, you know, I thought I was so smart. So, like, the way I hit it was I had a brand new thing of deodorant, Old Spice deodorant, and it still had the plastic tab on the top. I unscrewed the stick of deodorant, jammed it in there, put the shit back together like it was brand new, and I just jammed it inside my bags.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty good idea.
Well, I found out that you're right about that, and I'll tell you. So, you know, the whole time we're driving down to Florida, I'm thinking, oh, we're going to get pulled over. They're going to find the weed, and I'm going to get in trouble and all this shit, right? This is my nutcase brain.
Yeah.
And here, the whole time, my dad was blowing coke and
dad,
smoking weed the whole drive down there, you know what I mean? And I don't know. Honestly, I don't even remember, like...
You said coke?
Definitely.
He was doing cocaine
he's doing on the drive.
Yeah, absolutely. He'd stop it. You know, I didn't know at the time. Like, now...
So, like, you'd go to a gas station,
he'd hit the rest
he'd go
stop
into
every
the
fucking 100 miles, you know what I mean? Now I know, but, like...
Yeah, you don't got to piss that much.
Yeah. Right, so, we get down there, and it's late. He drove the whole way straight through. You know, my mom gets my brother, takes him in the house or whatever, and...
Damn, how long of a drive is that?
It's like 12
14,
hours, right?
12, 14 hours.
Yeah.
We were in Plant City, so it's like...
closer to Miami, I think.
It's all
and
old people or
past
Mexicans
Orlando.
there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's like 14 or 15 hours.
Yeah, so,
So
he drove the whole way.
definitely doing some blow.
Yo, fuck, dude.
I don't know if I could do that.
He was an animal, dude. So he's so smart too, dude. So, you know, obviously he waits for my mother to be in the house, and, you know, I'm helping carry all the shit in the house, right? And he fucking corners me at the back of the tailgate, and he's like, "Where's it at?" And I'm like, "Where's what at?" And I knew exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah.
He's like, "Listen, we can do this the easy way
You
or
both
the hard
knew.
way."
Yeah.
We both knew. He said, the easy way is you tell me where it's at, and maybe I won't take it all. The hard way is I smash all your shit until I find it.
Damn.
And the thing is, I believed him. Like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
he would have. He would have fucking smashed all my shit until he found it. And I'm thinking in my head, like, the Jeopardy songs in my head, like, do, 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 right? I'm trying to, like, I got a pivotal decision to make right here, right? Thank you guys for actually, like, the questions you guys ask are incredible, because, like, I probably wouldn't even have brought this up. So, and this is an important part of my life, you know, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
You know, so I'm like, all right, you know, I'm going to give it to him. I gave it to him. This motherfucker takes my whole bag of weed, dude, and doesn't say a fucking word to me, dude. I'm pissed.
Ooh.
I'm sick about it,
whole
right?
bag.
Yeah, the whole bag. Doesn't say nothing. Don't even look at me again, right?
I would have given it to him, too, if I was you.
Yeah.
That's the decision I would have made as well.
Okay.
But the fact that he took it, and, I would have been hot.
I was so salty, so I didn't even want to look at him, right? So the next day comes up, dude, and I wake up, and my great-grandma had this sunroom. Dude, Florida's incredible, dude. Growing up your whole life dirt poor in Ohio, dude, I never thought I'd see anything west of Illinois or the ocean, you know? So I remember she had this wicker couch, and I'm laying on this wicker couch because, you know, my dad would be in the bathroom for an hour and 45 minutes every time he'd get in there, right? And I had no idea why at the time. Like, I'm so naive to shit still, you know what I mean? So finally he comes out of the bathroom, dude, and he fucking, as he's walking by, dude, he drops a joint on my lap of my weed.
Of your own weed, yeah.
And I swear to God, like, it was like the heavens opened up, dude, and that motherfucker fell in slow motion like a feather, dude. It was like, you know, I heard angels singing and shit, dude. That was like, I was like.
But still, you bought a quarter.
Well, the thing is like, you know, him and I always tried to, like, seek his validation, even though, like, you know, I always, like, tried to, like, you know, like, I wanted a dad, you know what I mean? Like, and I didn't understand. So, like, I would do things that's out of my character. Like, he was a big hunter and fisher. I love fishing, but, like, I'm not a killer, dude. Like, I don't even fucking kill bugs, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hunting's not in your wheelhouse.
No, but when I was younger, I don't remember what age, I took the hunter safety course and just so I could hang out with him. I fucking hated it, dude. Hunting was terrible. Fucking who wants to sit in the fucking snow
for hours
waiting for, like, you know what I mean? And I never actually killed anything, which is cool because that probably would have made me sad, but So like, you know, I'm saying that to say like, this was like a moment, dude, for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was on top of the world. I'm fucking 16 years old. I'm in Florida, and my dad wants to hang out with me again, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
an opportunity to bond,
dude. And you know, it was the only thing we had in common. You know what I mean? And but it was I regardless of, you know, how that went and how I feel about him, I still cherish this moment. Even in sobriety, I still cherish this moment. You know what I mean? Because it was like, it was special to me, dude. So like, I remember he wouldn't smoke it with me, right? But he would help me get away with it. So I remember my grandma was like in a like, not a nursing home, but like an old folks community.
Sure.
Where there was just golf carts and there was like little community centers and shit with a hot tub and a pool and shit. And he's like, get in the car. We got in, he drives us down the hot tub. He's like, you know, you're going to go in that hot tub, smoke your joint. I'm going to sit here and 6'5" for you. And I'm like,
wow.
Sweet, right?
Thanks, Dad.
Fucking awesome.
That probably felt so
That's
good.
like,
dude.
That probably felt so good.
I felt like I was a fucking movie star, dude.
Yeah, that probably felt so cool.
It was incredible. So, and he taught me some shit, dude. I learned. He taught me how to fucking get away with shit, dude. I remember the next little thing we had. We went to the farmer's market, and you know, he made sure to get my mom preoccupied with some flowers in there, right? And he's like, "Follow me," right? And he's like 50 yards ahead of me in the parking lot. I'm trying to catch up to him, but this is all by design. He's smoking a joint, and he's so fucking smart, dude. He made sure he was like, he knows where the wind's blowing, and all this shit is probably from being a hunter, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like,
yeah.
So he fucking drops the, you know, the lit roach on the ground, and I'm like, do I pick it up? You know what I mean? And he was expecting me to pick it up. So I'm like, you know, cool. I pick it up, and then behind this farmer's market, there was like a house, and there was an orange tree, and he's like, run up there and get us an orange. He's like, I'm about to teach you something. I'm like, cool. This is when he's telling me about how to play the wind, and he's like, you know, get me and you one of these oranges. So I get him, and I'm just like, cool, dude. I just smoked a joint, dude. I got fucking an orange, you know. And he's like,
you're talking to Dad.
Yeah,
you're hanging
Dad's
out with
like,
Dad.
Dude, we're on the same page.
Fucking incredible. And he's teaching me that, like, you know, your hands smell like weed after you smoke weed. So, like, eat this orange, dog. You know what I mean? Like, that's so smart to me.
That's
like,
pretty genius.
The
yeah,
citrus.
That's pretty genius. Yeah,
It
that
works.
overpowers everything.
It
man.
does. And then, you know, he's like, go inside, wash your hands. And we got away with it, dude. He's teaching me how to be a criminal, essentially.
Wow.
So that was cool, man. That was a cool thing. And then I remember, you know, we ran out of my weed. And I'm like, now what, right? And we stayed 7 days in Plant City. And then his sister had a place in Daytona, and we went and stayed there for 7 days. And you know, I found a way to get weed in Daytona or whatever, but I remember now we're in Daytona, and he pulls up on me or whatever, and I guess he went to, like, you know, there's like MLK Boulevard in every fucking state.
Everyone,
Oh yeah.
He goes to MLK and comes back with a fucking, and I specifically remember how different the bag looked. It was like it was like not as wide as a regular sandwich bag, and it was longer, and it was like thicker material, and I just thought it was so fucking cool, dude. I'm like, this is fucking awesome, dude, right? I didn't think life could get any better than that moment, these moments that I'm telling you guys about. So, you know, fast forward, it was weird too, because, like, you know, my mom can't know, you know what I mean? And he's like, he is for himself at all costs. So, like, you know, he would throw me under the bus in a heartbeat, you know what I mean, and discipline me in front of my mother if things were to come to light. He would,
right, to save himself.
Fucked up situation,
Yeah,
you
to
know
save
what I mean?
himself,
which speaks to his character. But either way, so like that didn't last for too long. You know, we ended up just not fucking with each other again, and like, this moment is what I believe changed the whole course of my life. So we're in that last house that I told you guys about as a family. This was the last house we lived in, where it was me, my mom, my brother, my dogs, and my dad. And we're renting. It's in the township now. We lived, like, out of the township, like, my whole life. I grew up on Clay Street, dude. I used to ride my dirt bike to baseball practice and shit. Like, it was cool, dude. Now we're in the township, and, like, it was at the point to where, like, my mom and dad were only staying together to like for the kids' sake kind of thing, and really it was just damaging. Like it was it was fucked up for everybody, you know what I mean? But like you know how that is, especially 20 years ago or whatever, you know.
Yeah, my mom and dad did the same thing, and I wish dad had divorced mom sooner because it really might have changed the course of my life, which is another story. But you're exactly right. I lived the exact same thing. Like they stayed together for the kids, for the family.
Right. So, and then I also believe that's why my brother was born. That was like another save the family moment.
Oh,
you know
we're gonna have a kid to like bond us together.
Yeah, and I remember being salty about that, dude. And I'm like, I don't want a brother, dude. Now I'm gonna get less presents at Christmas, dude. Man, dude, I'll never forget the day my brother was born. My brother's my best friend. Like, my brother's my best friend, dude. His name's Joey Gandee Louis, man. I named him like. That's my dog.
Damn, you named him?
Yeah, and he's a very, very big part of my story. You know, we're going to get to that too. That's cool. Yeah, man. So fast forward, you know, I was just selling weed in this little town. Fucking, I had a nicer car than both my parents ever had. It was a Buick Rendezvous, dude. It was a $22,000 car, and I paid $4,000 for it, but it was like in pristine condition, dude.
You put like $4,000 down?
No, I bought it from my one of my best friend's mothers. Like they were getting a new car,
okay.
and they just like threw me a bone kind
of
thing.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and they let me pay it in payments. Like I didn't even have $4,000 up front, dude. I was fucking 16, dishwasher, also selling weed. You know what I mean? Fast forward, you know, 17 years old. Close to 18. I graduated when I was 17. So I had already graduated at this point. So my birthday's in the summer, so I'm like right on the verge of being 18 at this point. And you know, one day my dad calls me down into the basement, and now he was a tree cutter. He used to climb trees, like, and cut trees down for a living. He was very good at it, actually. He was reputed for never walking away from a tree. Like, he would do shit that, like, other people were afraid to do, like buy power lines, dead shit. And he was really good at it, dude. I've seen him almost die a couple of times. It was a dangerous job.
Yeah.
So, but, like, needless to say, that's seasonal work. So, you know, he calls me down in the basement, and he's like, I'm not going to be working for the next 3 months. He's like, so you need to do something to put some food on the table for your little brother.
Wow.
And I'm like, you know, he's like, in his exact words, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you sell drugs. He already knew I was selling weed. You know what I mean? It wasn't hard to figure out.
And you just turned 18?
Yes.
So you're now a man, right?
Yep.
Officially.
And
he's like, all right.
Yeah, so
provide.
And I remember, like, that moment makes me think of I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but, like, you know, when your dad tells you to do something, you don't even think twice about it.
No, you do
like,
it.
I remember the first fight I got into in school. I was a little guy. I'm still a little guy, but I was a little guy, poor. So, like, I would get made fun of in school, in elementary school. And I guess I was talking in my sleep, like, yelling in my sleep. And my dad comes up to me one day. He's like, what's going on with you at school? And I'm like, nothing. He's like, why are you screaming fuck in your sleep and kicking and punching shit? And I'm like, I lied to him, right? Days went by, and finally I'm like, you know, I told him what was up, dude. This kid, every morning I'd walk into school, this kid would fucking push me up again. He had a whole group of people around him, like, typical. Man. You visualize it, right?
Hell no.
Oh, you're poor, this and that.
Hell no.
So he's like, all right, this is what you're going to do. He's like, you're going to go to school tomorrow, you know, just like you normally would. And I want you to wait until this kid's arms leave his chest to go to push you. And as soon as his arms leave his chest to push you, punch him right in the middle of his face, right in the nose. And I'm like, okay, you know, like, I was scared. I don't think, like, you know, That's
not you.
No, it's just not, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
it's easier said than done, right?
Well, yeah, but there's, like, this thing, dude, like, when your dad tells you, again, like, I'm always seeking that validation from him, you know what I mean? So I was like, you know, I knew I didn't want to do it, but I knew that I didn't have an option in my head. So, like, and he's like, I don't care what they say to you. He's like, even if I come in there and I yell at you in front of them when we leave, I'm gonna high five you. You're not grounded, none of that shit. So I'm like, all right, I got to do this, right? So it was kind of like that same mentality, like when he's telling me what I just told you guys about, I don't care what the fuck you do, bring some food on the table for your little brother. So I'm like, okay, to me that just opened the floodgates up, right?
Hold on, so did you do it?
Do what?
Did you hit the kid?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so, can I say his name? It don't matter.
Yeah, I don't think it
First
matters.
His name's Andy, dude.
Okay.
So I go into school, same thing, dude. As soon as he goes,
Andy's bitch ass.
right down the pipe, dude. Fucking punched him in his nose.
Did he like come up to you to do his shit? Or did
Every
you
morning.
find him?
No.
Oh, it was
no,
like
I
a
didn't find
ritual
him. Yeah,
thing.
it was an every morning thing, dude. There was like a staircase, and he would catch me coming into school every day, dude. Knock my shit out of my hand. So it was that, I knew it was coming.
I hate that
You know
shit.
what I mean? And dude, my fucking balls were in my throat, dude,
I
leading
bet,
up to this,
bud.
dude. I didn't. And I'm a little guy too, like. I ended up graduating high school with this kid. He was like the fullback on the football team. Dude.
God damn.
Yeah, and like
fullbacks are big boys.
We were cool. Like we never had a problem after that, dude.
So what'd he do when you hit him?
He fucking cried.
Damn.
He grabbed his nose and ran away, and he cried. And I never had a problem with him again, dude.
Wow.
Never had a problem.
That helped
with him
get your
again.
little man rep up in school too. Like, oh, don't mess with him. He's crazy.
That was like my first thing, dude. I went through like this, man. I like now, like in the place I am now, like if I don't ever have to fist fight a day in my life again, dude, I would be. If I can talk my way out of a fight, I would do that. Not
For
10
sure.
out of 10 times.
Well, that's what
sure.
separates us from the animals, right? Is our
Yes.
intellect.
I
yeah.
agree. That's well said.
But at the same time, like, I kind of get it. Like, I kind of get where your dad was coming
It's
from.
like a necessary evil.
Like, especially if this shit's happening every day.
Yeah, and I didn't tell him. Like I didn't tell anybody. I was like ashamed of that. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
And
But
I didn't know how to deal with it.
I get it. Like, and it stopped.
It
It worked.
It worked. He was right.
Good.
So it seems like once I got into high school, I got suspended at least one time a year for fighting. Out of school suspension. I got into
Damn.
at least one fight in school every year. Like
Really?
into high school. Yeah, that was.
Did that become like your like second nature? Like when someone would fuck with you, you didn't wait, or like it wasn't like I'm gonna allow this to happen 15 times. It was like I'm about to take care of this stat.
Well, to give you like a point of reference, I was on the varsity wrestling squad at 103 pounds, dude.
Damn.
I was a little guy. So like,
Damn, yeah. You were a little littler than me. I'm
And on
skinny.
varsity, that's
I was a little guy, dude. It's funny. I actually ran into somebody I went to high school with last weekend, and he didn't even recognize me. He's like, we're both sober. I think he's got like 7 years now.
Isn't that crazy?
It's fucking awesome.
It's
dude.
crazy.
It's incredible, honestly.
Yeah, it's cool.
So where was I at? I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit.
Dad
taught you to beat the kid
how
up, yeah.
beat the kid up, and
Now you gotta
then
get a
you
job.
said you got suspended once a year.
Yeah, that was like an ongoing thing. And like I had a wild group of friends too. We were fucking hillbillies, dude. Like the parties we went to were in the woods. You know what I mean?
Bonfires and
Beer pong, fucking yeah, dude. Like, and it wasn't. It was way more like socially acceptable back then to fist fight. Like, not everyone has a camera phone. Like, that's how you handled shit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel bad for like the generation now, dude. Like, people are dying, bro. Like, people are shooting people over nothing, dude. I'm so glad I didn't grow up in that era, dude. Because I probably wouldn't be here. Because I had a fucking big mouth. You know what I mean? So, fast forward back to. My dad tells me what he tells me, and that for me just opened the floodgates. Sorry if I went off too far. I had to relate those two things because
Yeah.
that's in my head. That's like it took me back to the moment.
No, it's
like, you know what I
huge.
mean? When he's
Yeah.
telling me like, do this, and I'm like, all right, say no more.
It's
dude.
huge.
So what that did for me was, I thought I was something that I wasn't, dude. And I'll tell you guys how, but I learned real fast that absolutely was the opposite of a gangster, dude. I thought that I was capable of tying your grandmother up and taking everything she had and pistol whipping you if you got in the way. I found out the hard way that is not at all what I am. But so what happened was I just started going harder. I was already selling a lot of weed, and my town was very small. And everybody knew everybody's business. So what I did was I got another phone, and I started telling people, I don't care what time it is. I don't care if it's for $5. Call me. You know what I'm saying? I'll come to you,
Gotcha.
kind of thing, right?
Damn.
So like, kind of like step my game up with the weed
Smart
stuff.
It'd be better than your competition, right?
Convenience is a huge part of drug dealing, and so yeah, to say call me, I'll be there
Every time. I don't care if it's. I would walk out at 3 and
makes you a good drug dealer.
You ever see Get Rich or Die Trying? He's like, I'll take change from a crackhead.
Yeah.
Bro, I was on it, dude.
Yeah.
It got to the point to where like I couldn't drive my car every day. I would like pay somebody. I had a couple people that just wanted to get high, so like I'd give them some weed and they'd drive me and do my thing, and then so like that's going on, and I'm just in this mentality of like I will do anything to get money, anything, right? So one of the kids I went to high school with, this was before like Percocets were like even a thing, like but the girl he was dating, his mom was on. She had something to where like she had a prescription of Percocets, and like
We talking fives? We talking okay.
Fives, the white fives, the big ones.
Yep.
And these guys would just always be doing and I never understood it. You know what I mean? Like I was like, if you were doing anything other than weed to me, you were a fucking junkie.
You're fucked up.
Yeah, you were.
Something's wrong with you.
Right, you were below me, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're fucking goofy, dude. So this kid got himself in a lot of trouble, dude. He got hooked on these perks, and like I had no idea what the fuck I had no clue what that whole shit was about. I had no idea the strength of that addiction, right? And I wouldn't for years to come, but he got himself in trouble and he disappeared for a while, and then he popped back up, and this was after high school now. Like this is in the time period that I'm telling you guys about. I'm 18 years old.
Okay.
And he just out of nowhere pops back up, and we're hanging out. I'm the fucking weed guy, said he was sober, and the whole time, he was stealing from everybody, too. Like, he was robbing us all, dude, right? 'Cause he was still fucked up, hooked on perks, Well, what ends up happening, one morning, I had this one of my little buddies worked at the pizza shop right in town, Colucci's, and, he would come wake me up in the morning. We'd sit on my bed and smoke a blunt, and we were doing that, and, we had these walkie-talkie apps on our phone at the time. It was like a big thing, I remember.
Really?
Yeah. I don't remember. I had a Motorola or something. And like,
I think I had an LG chocolate. It like slid up. I remember.
Yeah.
Mine
slid up too, actually, and it slid up into a keyboard. It was
I don't remember that app or those apps though.
I think it might have been specific to the phone. I'm not sure though.
Okay.
It's honestly a blur, but I just remember Reese is his name, the kid that got in trouble and ends up getting me in trouble. But he hits me up on the little app and he's like, I got a job for you, subcontract you. Are you interested? I said, what's the terms? He said,
what's the terms?
So he was dating this broad. He had his broad with him. Her name she was from Pennsylvania. I don't remember her name. It don't matter. But he's like, me and Rachel aren't talking no more. I left my wallet at her house. There's $100 in there. If you go get it, I'll give you $50. I'm like, send me the address.
Yeah, it's easy.
11 o'clock in the morning,
easy.
Dude. You know what I mean?
Should be easy. Yeah.
$50 take me five minutes. Like I said, Jefferson was this big. You know what I mean? So I'm like, done deal. Fucking Johnny was there, ready to fucking drive me. My co-defendant. So we go do it, and he tells me, like, all you got to do is get in the garage. I left the door unlocked. When you get in, walk straight down the hallway, turn left into the office. It's in the top drawer. Easy fucking shit, right? And I'm like, I got there, got in the garage, and as soon as I got in the house, dude, I knew I was fucking up, dude. Like
something was wrong.
Dude, my heart was beating through my fucking chest, dude. And mind you, going back to this is the time where I thought, I'm carrying around a fucking pistol.
Yeah.
Right, dude. I got a fucking high .9 millimeter, dude. Fucking paperweight, dude. That thing was garbage. Right? But I'm thinking, I'll use this motherfucker if I got to, right? No, hell no, dude. I get in this house to commit my first real crime, and just instantly, dude. So I go, the shit's not there where he's telling me it is, right? And I'm fucking tripping, dude. I'm blowing him up on the thing, right? And he's like, finally he answers, and he's like, there's a jar of change on the desk. It's got $80 in it. Just grab that. I'm like, grab it, leave. Johnny drives me to Walmart. We go to Coinstar, cash it in. I give Johnny $20. I keep $20. I gave fucking dickhead the $40.
Wow.
Right? So.
Good for you. Seriously. I mean, good for you.
Yeah.
That was very generous of you.
I'd have kept it all. I gave my driver or whatever, and then kept most of it.
Yeah.
I don't got that kind of shit in me. Even when I was in active addiction, dude, like, I don't know what it is, dude. But,
so there's nobody home in this robbery, right?
No. Well, here you come to find out, dude, this was, like, some important people. They were, like, some member of something in men or, like, some big thing that had to do with, like, the police department or some shit, dude. It was a fucking bad move, dude. And, so the heat is on, right? Cops were showing up at my house.
And again, you just took $80 in change.
Yep.
That's it.
Yes, $80 in change. That was it.
Okay.
And again, and everybody involved. There was 3 of us involved. It was me, the kid who drove me, and the kid who set the mastermind behind the fucking Ratatouille himself.
The mastermind.
Wow.
Behind the $80 of change.
I know.
So, dude, they were on me. I knew it was just a matter of time. The kid who drove me, he was soft as a cookie, dude. He grew up with, like, good parents and, like, money and shit. Like,
he's telling.
So they got to him first. They go to his work, take him down. He fucking folds like a fucking lawn chair on me,
especially if they walked him out of the job.
Took him out of his work.
How did they get hip to you guys doing it?
Well, the people whose house I broke into fucking reported their house was burglarized.
Oh, okay.
And again, it's a very, very small town. I wish I could think of, like, the amount of people that was in my graduating class. You guys would probably laugh. It was, like, tiny, dude. Like, everybody knew everybody in that.
I think we had, like, 95 in ours, which is pretty small.
95
people in my graduating class.
Total? Like 95?
95 people, class of 09.
Dang, yours was maybe, I'm 07. You might have been smaller. Your shit might have been smaller than mine, then, dude.
It was pretty small.
Was it? Wow, dude.
Yeah.
So you're just the town hoodlum, so they just assume automatically.
I don't know how, but it didn't take them long to figure it out.
Okay.
So they connect whatever dots they connect. And out of the 3, yes, I'm the scumbag, right? The perceived scumbag of the town, you know. But I was just always one step ahead of them, dude. Like, they were always they had been trying to catch me selling weed for a long time, and I just managed to evade, you know.
Feels good, doesn't it? I know it did to me at the time.
I thought I was untouchable. I thought that I was the most clever fucking person, you know, that ever existed, dude. And until this, you know, this quite literally changed the course of my life. So it doesn't take them long. Eventually, you know, they catch up with dude at the pizza shop. He fucking writes a whole statement on me, dude, and like, bro, the whole police department shows up at my house, dude. Wow. And I'm bebopping around, right? And this is how I find out about this shit. So my phone rings. I'm driving around doing my thing. My phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize. I answer the phone, and it's my little brother calling me from the bus driver's phone. So he was 8 years old, right? Calling me, Joey, there's 20 cops at our house. What do I do? I said, put your bus driver on the phone. So, like, there was this little half trailer park, half little development, like, fucking half a football field past my house. It was called Little Hollywood, right? And
okay.
My brother had somebody that he was friends with in there. I said, you know, drop him off at whoever's house in Little Hollywood. Okay. You know, and that was that. So, like, now I knew. And I was hiding out at the time, dude. I was actually staying with my uncle in Ashtabula, but I was all over the place, right? So, boy,
yeah, because this is like, I mean, this is now a serious fucking charge. Like, this isn't, even though it was $80 and change, and you broke into someone's house and you
somebody
stole.
That meant something. I wish I could remember who they were, bro. But like that had a lot to do with it, bro.
Yeah, that doesn't help either.
It escalated the already bad situation.
Right,
who these people were, like they were connected somehow.
Yes.
Right? So, you know, I knew they were gonna catch up with me, but whatever. I just kept doing my thing, right? And eventually, they caught up with me. I used to drive down to Edinburgh College a couple times a week and drop off a half pound to this one kid, and I'd come back. And so one of my buddies I went to high school with, he messaged me on Facebook. So I've only had Facebook for a very short period of time in my life, and it was during this time. And ironically enough, Reese, the kid who fucking masterminded this whole stupid ass scheme, was the one who made me a Facebook, because I went through a breakup and I was, you know, down bad, and he's like, get on Facebook, you know. I'll tell you how I got rid of Facebook too. So I guess.
What's wrong with this Reese individual? No, where is this Reese guy?
I heard he's doing good now.
Okay.
Which I'm happy for him, honestly.
That's
good for him, dude, you know. But
some goofy ass shit.
So my buddy messaged me on Facebook, he needed an eighth. And I wasn't stupid, like I didn't say anything crazy on Facebook, but I told him where I was going to be. I said, I'll meet you at the Kingsville TA, the travel stop at Kingsville, right off the exit at this time, right? So I pull in there to serve this eighth, and my buddy's there waiting for me. And this was a good dude. Like I found out in this process that he was solid. So I'm like, you want to take a ride and burn one or whatever, right? He gets in my car, we take a ride, we burn one, and when we get back, we're parked. He's, you know, we're saying our goodbyes or whatever, and a fucking sheriff pulls in, dude. And I'm like, oh, here we go, dude, right?
Like he came straight into like your car?
He came straight in and blocked my car in. But he did it like on some slick shit, dude. I found out through the discovery report that they thought I was armed and dangerous. And,
oh, boy.
And wait till I fucking tell you why they thought that. Sick shit, dude. So they fucking blocked me in, and Buddy was cool, man. He gets out, he's like, hey, man, you know, and my mentality is, dude, I'm never going to give myself up. I'm not going to tell him myself, I don't know why you're stopping me.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Right. What's up? What's going on?
What can I do for you, sir?
Right. And the cool thing was, dude, I just dropped all the money that I made off from dropping the 8 ounces off or whatever at where I was staying at the time. I had since then left my uncle's house because, you know, I found out I didn't want to bring shit to his house, you know what I mean? So, like, I was staying at my buddy's house in Kingsville at the time. So, like, all I had on me was the eighth of weed that I was selling this dude and a joint. Well, now he's got the eighth of weed, right? And
I'm assuming you have money.
Yeah,
like
the money.
However much you charge him for the eighth.
$40 at the time.
Okay.
I started that in my area too. You couldn't get an eighth of good weed for under $50, dude. One of the greatest hustlers told me, if you lower your price and sell more, at the end of the day, everyone's happy. You keep the train rolling, and
boy, I definitely went the opposite of that route. I waxed kids.
I was always more interested in quality over quantity. You know what I mean? So like, anyway, that's beside the point. So, buddy comes up to my window and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "You know your license plate light's out." And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, come look." I'm like, all right, dude. I knew it was up, obviously.
Yeah.
My buddy ate the eighth of weed, bro.
Wow.
Ate the whole, and it was in a cellophane. It was a pack of cellophane. Dude, he fucking chomped the whole eighth of weed, right? What a gangster, dude.
Good for him.
Right?
Yeah.
What a gangster, dude.
Yeah.
So he gets me back there, and I already knew what time it was, dude. He fucking, put your cigarette down. He's like, go ahead and put your hands in the car. And I'm like, what's going on? You know, playing dumb.
Yeah. Am I being detained? What's the deal here?
Right. So at this time in my life, dude, I always had a cooler. Like, I always had a cooler full of fucking Faygo cream sodas in my fucking, always, dude. Like, my car was like the car to smoke weed in. I had two 12-inch Alpines in there, like, dude.
Okay.
I cherished that car.
You had a system.
It was the only nicest thing I ever had, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, fuck, dude. The thing was so clean you could have ate off the floor of that car, dude. I was proud of that.
Took care of it, yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, dude, these fuckers, dude, they fucking ripped my whole shit apart, dude. And for some reason, they were convinced that I had some kind of secret compartment in the cooler. So like my little routine was there's a Sheetz right before the fucking college that I would drop the shit off at. I would always stop there because they had cold 12 packs of fucking cream soda or whatever, right? So I just filled this motherfucker up, dude, and these fuckers, dude, dumped my whole cooler out on the ground, dude. Faygo fucking cans are rolling everywhere, dude. And at this time, I had a Valium on me too, dude. And right as he's pulling up, I ate the Valium, right? So, dude, they took so fucking long to search my shit, bro, that I fell asleep handcuffed in the back of the cop car and woke up, and they're still searching my car, right? They don't find nothing because
they were convinced, man. They thought there was something there.
They had a hard on for me, bro.
Yeah.
But look, somehow I managed to just stay, even if it was a half a step ahead of them, dude, because it could have been way worse, dude. There's so many times where I could have got pulled over with a fucking pistol on me, dude, loaded. Like, what an idiot. Why were you carrying a pistol, bro? I grew up in fucking Jefferson, Ohio, dude. Nobody was robbing nobody out there.
You are correct, sir.
I grew up listening to 50 Cent, thought I was something hard, you know what I mean? Stupid shit, dude. Anyways,
so they literally found nothing.
No, they found, I had a fucking one-hitter, Chellum, right?
Okay.
And this is how I found out my dude was solid, because the cop was not, he was cool, dude, right? They had me, bro. Like, you know, you got me, right? When we got to the station, though, he told me, he's like, you know, your buddy took the bowl we found in your car. Your buddy said that was his. He's like, that's a good friend.
Oh, he took
that
the
is
charge.
that is a good.
They
friend.
didn't even charge him with it, dude. They smashed it. They had bigger fish to fry.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, dude, I'm 18 years old.
So you're going to the station. What are you going to the station for?
Did they tell you?
Burglary.
Like when do they like?
They didn't. It was a big secret thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
I knew, and I knew they knew.
Well, right.
But they were making it out to be, you know,
something
it
different.
was about the fucking, like, I couldn't even, dude, it took me so long to even figure out how the fuck they even knew I was gonna be where I was at.
Yeah.
It was Facebook. And listen, so anyway, I'm in jail now at 18 years old for the first time in my life, dude.
For a burg.
Fucking shook, dog. And unfortunately for me, during this time period, there was a string of burglaries that was going on in Ashtabula, right?
Oh no.
So they were threatening me with 22 years in prison. Dude.
Wow.
I was fucking 18
What were you
years
charged with?
What did I end up pleading guilty to?
No, what were you charged with
initial.
initially?
Burglary.
Just one
F2
burg?
They were trying to charge me with 22 burglaries, bro.
Jesus, brother.
Or no, I'm sorry. It was 18 burglaries, 22 years in prison. That's what they were telling me.
18 like aggravated burglaries or just
I don't even know.
burglary?
I do know that, like, it was known around Ashtabula that
That's an F2, right?
Somebody was kicking doors in around Ashtabula. It absolutely wasn't me.
Right.
I was guilty for the one, right? The one that they knew about.
Yeah.
But you know, that's their fucking tactic, dude. They're fucking.
Oh yeah,
they knew they had a
scare you
fucking.
into,
And they did. It worked, dude. I thought my life was over, dude. I was like, well, here it is. Dude.
So how does that go? Once you get to the station, obviously they're gonna interrogate you, right?
No.
Nope.
They fucking put me right in fucking general population.
Really?
It was like 2 in the morning by the time I got there. 3 in the morning.
Really?
Yes.
Just straight to the county, Gen Pop.
Ashtabula County, dude. Jefferson Jail.
When you went to arraignment the next day, did you get a bond?
Hell no.
No bond either.
No. Hell no, dude. They weren't gonna let me out.
Wow.
They had been on my ass, dude, for
No
years.
bond.
No, they were not letting me go.
Wow.
So
Don't hear that often. Either it's OR or
you get
a bond.
Yeah.
I get apparently the
Mushroom paper.
the people's house I broke into, they were important in some way to these people. So like, dude, it was. Dude, I was shook, bro. I thought I was going to prison. You know, I thought like that was it, and my life was over. You know, I'm gonna fucking join a gang and fucking get my whole body sprayed up. You know what I mean? And
I can relate so much. I mean, we have the same build, and I mean, shit, you're my age. I grew up listening to Lil Wayne, and so like, you know, I was the best. I was the best at everything. I fucking was the best fucking dope boy in Grandview or Columbus. Like, but like at the end of the day, I'm not tough, really. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go,
yeah.
but I'm not like a tough guy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I sure fucking thought I was until I went to the county
Till you
jail.
go to jail, yeah.
Then you're not so tough anymore.
Yeah, dude, your jail fight stories are fucking incredible, bro. That shit was fucking. I'm at work, dude, listening to your shit in my fucking.
There's some good ones.
Yeah, dude.
There's some good ones.
That was awesome.
What's the first offer?
22 years.
22.
Yeah.
God.
22 years.
Public
dude.
defender.
No, so so again, in this situation, I'm the poorest out of the 3 people involved, right? You know, these kids' moms got him the best lawyer in town, Virginia Miller.
Well, and they told on you.
Yeah, and dude, I remember my lawyer was such a fucking bum, dude. He was this old man in this ugly ass suit, dude. I think I paid a $500 retainer for him or something like that, dude, right? And it was my money, obviously, like you know. He's like, dude, they got you. Like, there ain't shit I can do for you. I'm like, why am I paying you?
Yeah, why did I give you
what the
$500
fuck, dude?
Yeah, well, you didn't do the shit. The other ones?
No, I did not do the other ones. But
So
he was telling me to tell on myself. That's
like for the one,
yeah.
to try and like.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the worst legal advice fucking
That's
ever.
wild,
dude. When I got my discovery report, you guys, I was sick, bro. So I found out that my own father wrote a statement on me, dude.
Wow.
My dad told the cops where I was at, that I was staying at my uncle's house in Ashtabula, and that I had a 9mm handgun on me, dude.
Isn't that completely hypocritical?
Bro, listen, let me tell you. So, like, I didn't even understand. So, the last conversation I had with him on the phone before I got arrested, he told me, when they find you, don't move. Don't do anything they don't tell you to do. Just make sure they can see your hands. I'm like, why would he be saying this to me?
Yeah.
Why would he say that to me? I literally did not put those two things together. It took me years, bro.
Well, no, you would never would. You would never expect that.
And I still, like, bro, like, okay, so my mom and dad, they were like high school sweethearts, right? This was the thing that finally allowed my mom to be like, I don't care if that motherfucker dies, right? In her head, he tried to kill me. He tried to have me killed by the cops, dude. And, like, I still didn't believe it, right? Like, my mind still, I'm like,
Sure.
well, cops lie. That's their job, right?
Right,
No,
yeah.
the motherfucker, it's on paper, dude. There was like
You saw
7
it. You
cops
saw it.
at my house that wrote the same thing. Father says he's in so-and-so street in Ashtabula. He's got a 9. And so I forgot. So, like, the only thing they found when they raided my house, dude. They fucking put my mom is
Your family's house.
Yes. My mom's the only real gangster in my family, dude. She's done prison time. This is
really?
before all that, but
Really?
yeah, she's been down the road.
Okay.
She went to Marysville. But, you know, going back to, like, the DARE discussion that we had, bro, I was conditioned from an early age to, we do not fuck with the police. We don't call the cops for nothing.
Yep.
It was, like, a thing in my, like, that's how I grew up. Like, and you know, like, it's crazy what, like, knowing what I know now, how hard that made it for me to be able to, like, start my recovery journey, because I don't trust males in general. I do better with women, but, like, I don't have any trust for a male figure of authority, you know what I mean? So, like, that made it prolonged my recovery, you know what I mean? Like, my being able to recover, dude.
I feel like everybody, I'll speak for myself, but, like, trust in general, like, from active addiction and, like, knowing what I'm capable of, like, it does make it hard to trust anyone. Like, still, you know,
Yeah.
I've got time, and, like, I still just, like, I'm not gonna just trust you right off the bat. I'm just not. I just can't, because you just don't know who may or may not be trustworthy. And I feel like that's something I don't know. Like I said, I'll speak for myself. I don't know if you had that issue, but the trust thing is really tough. It's really tough, and I'm sure your dad writing a statement made it even tougher.
It took me years to come to terms with that, bro. Like, but I appreciate what you just said. You know, like, my problem is, like, do I wear my heart on my sleeve, dude? You know, and, like, through counseling and stuff like that, I learned that, like, you know, oversharing, like, that's all a trauma response. You know what I mean? Like, but that's why I keep Richie around, dude, because, you know what I mean? Like, I know that he's not gonna, like, let somebody fucking take my soul from me, you know?
That's good.
So, man.
So you're in the county.
Yeah, what happened?
This is like you're in the county first time. Did you have any detox or anything going on? Nothing like that.
Funny thing was, like, I did, but I didn't really even realize. I kept smelling weed, and I was convinced this. I'm like, who's got weed in here, bro? It was me. It was me just sweating weed out of my fucking system, dude, you know?
But nothing, no crazy.
No,
okay.
I wasn't.
That's good. That makes jail a little bit easier.
Yeah, it does.
It definitely does.
I learned that the hard way, you know, later on in life.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
It was.
You get tried?
No, you know, I was trying. I was thinking, like, oh, I gotta fucking make sure people don't think I'm a pussy in here, right?
Yeah.
You know, and you see stupid shit like you find the biggest dude in here and blah blah
punch
blah.
him in the face. Yeah.
Well, no, fortunately for me, one of the bigger dudes in there, he was nice. He was cool as fuck, and he was like, I found out that he was a crackhead, and he used to steal TV. He was in there for walking into Walmart and walking out with fucking flat screen TVs, like in the middle of the day kind of thing, right? I'm like, dang, you know, I had no idea, no knowledge of like crack and that whole side of things yet, right? Like, so I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I thought crackheads were gonna be like really skinny. Like, dude, this dude was jacked, bro. He taught me how like to do push-ups, like with a deck of cards.
Oh,
yeah. Yep.
So, no, I didn't really have no problems, dude. The only thing that I can think of relating to what you said was one of the things, so, like, during this time, the deodorant in there had these, like, balls, like, these little balls in it when it was empty. And, like, it was, like, the roller ball deodorant, right? Mm-hmm. And, like, you know, people would take those out of the deodorant stick when it was empty. And, like, we would set up, like, toilet paper rolls and try to fucking, you know, that was, like, how we entertained ourselves in there.
Okay.
And I remember getting up one day and like somebody that wasn't him or like the other dude that we were kind of kicking it with had the ball, and I walked straight up to him like, you want me to go get that ball back for you right now? He's like, no, bro, you're good. Like, everything's fine. So I had no trouble in there.
No
at all.
issues.
No.
That's good.
Thankfully, because I probably would have got my fucking neck wrung, you know?
It happens. It happens.
So, yeah, that was you know, now I'm 18 years old, dude, with a felony. So I obviously I didn't end up getting sentenced to 22 years in prison. I ended up pleading guilty to attempted burglary.
Okay.
It's fucked up how life works, dude, because like it was just a matter of that, and it wouldn't matter if they would have got to me first anyways. I wasn't gonna tell on myself. And I wasn't gonna tell on anybody else. The kid who drove me that wrote the statement, bro, he fucking dogged me, bro.
Yeah.
Really? He fucking dogged me, dude. He fucking got me, bro. He made it seem like, oh, he didn't have any idea what was going on. I asked him for a ride and didn't tell him where I needed to go and this and that. He left out the whole part of goddamn Coinstar and taking $20. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
And what was I gonna do, bro? I didn't have no money.
Yeah.
It's the way of the world.
2 co-defendants also.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You know what's fucked up is I don't even know what happened with the other one. Like, I don't know what... only thing I know is that I'm the only person out of the 3 people involved with that came out of that situation with a felony.
Mm.
So,
so we know what happened. I mean...
Yeah.
Like...
Right. So, I'm on probation now, right?
So you get probation.
Yeah.
Okay,
How long
good.
probation we got? 3 years?
I think it was 3 years, but I didn't end up having to do the whole 3 years. Now, dude, this is a funny story. So, like, my crime was not drug-related, right? But I couldn't stop smoking weed for the life of me, dude. And I remember the first time I had to go see this woman. It was this old woman. Her name was Roberta. And I go in there, and we do the thing, and we're almost done. And she's like, oh, you know what? I might as well get a urine screen from you. I'm like, Roberta?
Wait a minute.
Roberta?
We don't got to do that.
Roberta?
I said, well, what do you mean, Roberta? My crime is not drug-related. She's like, yeah, all right, right? So now I'm in the fucking bathroom, shook, right? I'm like, what do I do? I'm going to fucking piss dirty. 100%.
Instant test or lab test?
Urine. The instant.
Instant.
The cup, right?
Okay.
I swear to God on everything holy, I took the cup and I scooped toilet water out and peed just a little bit in there, right?
Yeah.
Just enough to make it yellow. Handed it to her. She ripped the thing. Huh, okay. Wait a minute. The temperature's not registered on this. She's like, you tampered with this. I said, Roberta, what are you talking about? I said, you searched my pockets before I came in here. Somehow I talked my way out of that, bro.
Wow,
she did not reach. She's like, just
well
get
done.
out of here.
Well done.
You know what's fucked up, dude, is she didn't drug test me one other time, dude. But, like, every time that I knew I had to go see her, dude, God, it was so fucking stressful, dude. Every time I'd be like, oh, I'm going to stop 14 days before.
Play the game.
I'm going to do the gelatin thing. Oh, my buddy's got a wizard.
Go to the head shop and get one of those fucking detox kits.
Nastiest fucking drinks known to man.
Shit doesn't work.
I remember, like, one of the last times I went in there, my buddy had a Wizinator, bro. It was like a fake dick.
Yeah.
And I had that motherfucker on, dude, with a heating pad to keep it, bro. I'm in there sweating, bro. Didn't even have to use it.
She didn't go in with you?
No, she couldn't. So she'd have had to get a man,
that's
right?
That's a beautiful thing, yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't hit, like, I'm not. I don't know why I just reference it back to just like I'm not like I wasn't meant to be a criminal, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's clear from what you've told us that it stems from drugs. Like, you know,
Definitely.
that's obvious. And with drugs and drug habits come crime. Period.
Yeah.
Point blank. You know, just all the crimes look different.
Yeah. So this is, in my opinion, this is where my story becomes like my story. So this clearly changed the trajectory of my life, right? Any opportunity that I would have had to get like back then it was a little different than it is now. Like now there's places that like get tax money for hiring felons,
Right.
you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
a little bit harder to find gainful employment as a felon, you know.
Yeah. And housing.
And a small town too.
Yeah, that too.
Honestly, I wasn't even, that wasn't even my concern, dude. I was just all over. I was couch surfing, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really. So, I'm sorry, I should have. So, as a result of this happening, we got kicked out of that place.
Oh.
The
Yeah.
landlords were like,
Yeah, kicked us
Man.
out.
Caused a bit of a scene, yeah.
Yeah, broke the lease.
So now everybody mad at you, mom, dad, brother.
I remember my dad said, "You brought hell on this household." That's what he said to
What a
me.
prick.
Yeah, he said, "Get your shit and don't ever come back here."
The only way you can look at that is that he's alcoholic and he's sick, and that's the only way you can look at it. Like, that's it.
I know that now,
Yeah.
but dude,
Then, yeah, no,
18
I'm sure.
years old, bro, that fucking crushed me, dog. Like that sucked. You know?
Yeah, I bet.
Fuck yeah.
So what ended up happening was we all went our separate ways. My dad went off to East Lake to live with some dude that he went to high school with and smoke crack. And my mom took my brother to my grandma's in Unionville, Ohio. And I just, kept doing my thing, dude. Nothing really changed for me except for that I had to fucking lie to myself that I was going to try to pass a piss test once a month.
Go see
you know
your
what I mean? Ironically enough, dude, I ended up completing that probation successfully. Up to this point in my life, that was the only probation I've ever completed successfully.
Nice.
I'm doing my thing, bebopping around.
You just went back to selling weed and same
out of my
shit,
car.
Same shit.
How's the
Selling
car?
weed out of my car, dude. I'm basically living in my car and staying at buddies'
Wherever.
houses, here and there. So to fast forward a little bit, what ends up happening is, so one day, my grandma calls me, and she says, "I gotta tell you something, but you can't tell your brother I told you this." My brother's a fucking 9-year-old kid, right?
Okay.
And she's like, "You gotta promise me." And I'm like, by the way, side note, I am very close to my grandma. She's still alive. She's just an incredible woman, dude. She's one of my favorite women on the planet, dude. I have a very special relationship with her. She's also an alcoholic, undiagnosed, but
Oh, yeah?
yeah, for sure. But some people don't end up homeless, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she's fine,
Yeah.
But God bless her soul, dude. I love that woman. So she calls me. She tells me, you gotta come here and talk. Come to find out, she caught my little brother taking grass from the ground and putting it in a piece of notebook paper and trying to smoke it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck. Whose fault is that?
At 9.
Yeah, wow.
Who do you think? Who do you think's behind that? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the assumption would be that.
Right. When I'm that age, I had no idea just how much.
You
my
didn't
brother...
teach him that, though, did
No,
you?
hell no. Dude.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. I didn't have a clue how much. Bless you.
Dude.
How much? How much he was actually paying attention, dude.
Right.
I didn't. I
Probably looked up to you. Yeah.
He definitely did, right?
Yeah.
So, so I'm like, all right, how am I gonna deal with this, right? And I remember being a kid, and my dad and my mom would argue, and he would tell her, if I would have whooped his ass, he'd be tougher. And I just thought he was right about that. You know what I mean? because he was abused growing up. Like, he got his ass kicked, and I guess he made a promise to himself that, like, you know, because he got beat up the way he did by his dad, he wasn't going to do that to me. We got into fights, you know, but he never beat me, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So, I'm, like, thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, he's right, you know, and, like, in my head, I'm like, I don't want my brother, like, one of my worst fears would do is that my brother was going to end up like me, right? So I'm like, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with this? So I remember telling my mom, too. So my mom starts hanging out with this fucking piece of shit scumbag that ends up beating her ass anyway.
Was your mom sober? Was she alcoholic, or she just went to prison?
No,
she just got in some trouble?
She hadn't even been to prison at this point. So,
oh, okay.
You know, there's a lot of shit I didn't know about when I was growing up. You know, my dad was a very manipulative alcoholic, you know, so, like,
obviously,
you know, he fed my mom drugs, but my mom always kept it together, bro. She was the glue, you know what I mean? Like, she was the glue, dog. So, like, I remember having a conversation with my mom later in life, and we're going to get to that. Like, you and I have a lot in common with our stories as far as, you know, IV use with our parents and shit like that, but, I remember having a conversation with her about this, dude, and she had to get a surgery when I was young, and they gave her Vicodin, and that was like a seed, you know, and we talked about this. She's like, I remember the first time I did Vicodin, she's like, it was like for the first time, I didn't worry. I wasn't filled with anxiety that something was going to happen to you or something like that. She's like, it was the only time I ever remember feeling okay.
Yeah.
Like, I could fucking relax, right?
Yep. That sigh, that...
Yeah, dude,
that,
you know.
yeah.
So, anyway, so I remember having, like, discussing this with my mom, like, Mom, I'm gonna smack the shit out of him. You know what I mean? God, dude. So I picked my brother up from school, and she's like, Are you sure? Are you sure? And I'm like, yes, I'm sure. You know, you guys should have smacked the shit out of me. Maybe I wouldn't be such a fucking punk, right? That was my thought process.
Sure.
So, picked him up from school, played it cool, you know. Gave him every opportunity the whole ride home to, like, tell me what was going on, right? You know, I'm like, how was your day? Oh, you know. To my brother's credit, dude, he's stuck to his story, you know what I mean? He's solid, bro. So we get to the driveway, and I'm like, you're running out of time. And I'm thinking in my head, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. I'm like, so is there anything else? He's like, no. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I'm sure. I'm like, all right, you know, if he would have been honest with me, I wasn't gonna smack him like this, right?
Yep.
But he wasn't, so I said, all right. I said, take your glasses off for me, and he's like, I said, what's that back in the back on the roof of my truck or whatever? And he looks back, dude. I cued his face, like I made it to where, like, where
you set him up so you could just
perfect,
just smack the fucking shit out of him, dude, bro.
So how does he react, and then does he ask you why?
Heartbroken.
Listen, bro, I'm heartbroken.
Oh, I'm sure.
Dude, that was fucked up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I mean, dude? I immediately regretted it, dude. And I'm trying to discipline him, and like, you know what I mean? So, like, I am trying to keep it together, right?
Right.
Dog, that fucking crushed him, dude. God damn, bro. So
did he ask you what did I do?
Yeah.
Did you explain it to him?
Yes, I did. I did.
How do you take it after you, like, explained it? I know what you did,
right.
But how did he take it once you explained it to him?
Man, dude, we hugged, and I apologized to him, dude, right there before I even left the driveway. You know what I mean? You. I wish I could remember exactly what I said to him, because I think I know the gist of it. Like what I told you guys, dude. My worst fear was that kid was going to grow up like me, you know? Because what the fuck, dude? Like, I had no reason to be a fucking asshole, dude. I had a normal childhood.
Yep.
Just an alcoholic, dude, you know? I had no idea, right? So, God, dude, I pulled out of the driveway, bro, and lost it, dude. Like, it's still, obviously, you can probably hear it in my voice. It's still hard for me to talk about to this day, dude, because that's just, like, that's my brother, man. That's my best friend, dude. Like, man. So, like, needless to say, I never, ever put my hands on him like that again. You know what I mean? We've never fought. Like, we've never fist fought. Like, you know, some of my friends that had brothers, dude, they would fight. You know what I mean?
All the time, yeah.
So, man, shit started getting to a point where I found out my mom was leaving him there, right? Because obviously what we just talked about was a result of my mother not being there, right? This kid's just sitting up in a fucking room. And my grandma, God bless her heart, dude, but it's not a place for a kid, dude. She's, you know.
Not on it.
No.
Yeah.
She smokes weed herself.
I was going to say, yeah, you said she was alcoholic, so.
Yeah, so. And God bless her because, like, dude, listen, I don't want to paint the wrong picture because I would leave my kid with her. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like
no.
It's not like he was in danger, but it wasn't, especially at that time, it wasn't a place for a fucking 8-9-year-old kid, right? So it got to the point to where I couldn't even go to McDonald's and get myself a double cheeseburger without thinking about my brother being hungry, dude, at my grandma's, right? My mom's just fucking off somewhere, right? So one day I go pick him up, and I just never brought him back, dude. It was summertime. Him and I lived in my car for 3 months until I saved up enough money.
How old is he?
He's about to turn 9, so he's like about 9 years old.
Oh my goodness. So school is just out the window?
No, he's going to school out of my car, dude.
School?
Yeah, the kid was going to school out of my car, right? And to Jefferson, the same school I was going to, right? Because that's the house that we just got kicked out of, right? He was still enrolled in Jefferson, right? So that fucking poor kid, dude. Like, man, like that town was so small, everybody knew. You know what I mean? Like.
But you got him to school every day.
Yep. He was going to school out of my car and failing, you know. So like, I gotta figure this out. I gotta make a move, right? Like I gotta figure this out, dude. And they were trying to put him on Ritalin. I'm a fucking 19-year-old kid going to parent-teacher council meetings trying to tell these people, look, dude, somehow I kept him out of the system by the grace of God. And I don't even know if that's the right thing to say because maybe if he would have went in the system, I was clearly not qualified to be in that kind of a position.
Well, all of a sudden you're playing dad. I mean, like, and you're 19.
Yeah, so I'm going to these parent-teacher council meetings trying to explain to these people, like, the kid doesn't need Ritalin. He doesn't have any stability. You know what I mean? He doesn't know if he's going to have a fucking dinner or a roof or somewhere to sleep, dude. How can you expect this kid to fucking hear what you're saying at the front of the classroom? Clearly he's failing, right? They didn't want to listen to me, so eventually I saved up $1,000, dude, and I got my first house in Saybrook. $500 a month, dude. It cost me $1,000 to get into this place. And somehow, to my mom's credit too, like she was flaky, but like she was very crafty, dude. Like she found this place and fucking somehow like set it up to all I had to do was pay, and I'm in there, right? So I took him out of Jefferson, and I open enrolled him in Geneva, and I would drive him to school every day because there was no bus that would come out to Saybrook, right, to take kids to Geneva school, and he went from failing to getting, you know, he raised his grades, got on the football team, and things were, like, okay for a little while, you know what I mean? Like, that was, like, it was okay, you know? It was just
best you can do.
It was just me and him. He had his own room. I had my own room. I was still selling a bunch of weed, you know what I mean? Trying to hide it, but really, dude, he's seen way more than I'll ever even know, you know what I mean?
And you need the money. Like,
yes, dude. Fuck yeah.
I mean, you gotta pay the bills.
Working at fucking Honeybees, dude. Washing dishes for fucking pennies.
Nothing.
Dude, for peanuts. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, dude. It wasn't but here, I want to say this. I learned, you know, through counseling and through looking into myself, and you know, I used that for a long time to justify selling drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Taking care of your little brother.
I'm like, well, you would do it if you were in my situation, you would do the same thing. Like bro, at that time, there was not a human being on the face of this planet that could have told me that what I was doing, I could have done it any better. Fuck you. You're not doing this. Yep. Fuck you, right? Yeah. Who's gonna say, you know what I mean? And I really believe it. Dude, I'm such a maniac that I truly, this is not a metaphor, I really believe that 1,000 men couldn't show up to my doorstep and harm my brother. I believe that I would incinerate them with my eyeballs, bro. I really believed that, dude.
You would protect him at all costs.
That was my dog, man. Me and him were cold together, hungry together, you know what I'm saying?
Dude.
Like, so things were okay for a while. That was our first place, right? Mom was just fucking off, you know, with this dude, and that's just how shit was for a while. Eventually, I moved out of that place. He made some solid friends in Geneva, and there was a lady, one of his buddy's moms would let him stay over there, you know, all the time, and like they would walk to school together and stuff like that. And you know, me being a 19, 20-year-old kid, it took some of the burden off me, you know what I mean? I wasn't. But I can honestly say, like, bro, I beat myself up for so long of that, you know what I'm saying? Like it perpetuated my addiction and my drug use, dude, because I felt so guilty that I had a mom and he didn't, right? And like what that did was, all the way up into his 20s, bro, it caused me to enable him, you know, and all I was ever trying to do is make his life easier, and it ended up, you know, you guys will learn here in a second that, like, you know, we're both alcoholics, you know what I mean?
Yep, genetics are real.
Yeah, so things were okay for a while, like I said, and then I ended up moving out of that place. My dad...
I mean, props to you, by the way, for, like, taking care of your little brother like that. I mean, seriously, like, that's at 18, 19, to take your little brother who's 9 and, like, live out of your car and make sure he gets to school and, like, try to feed him, and, like, that's something. That's something. You know what I mean? Like, that's important. It's something. Obviously, it's not ideal.
No.
But it's something. Like, you did the best you could.
I did. I know that now. You know what I mean? Like I said, I beat myself up for a long time. I had a lot of guilt for that, you know. But, you know, none of us know what the fuck we're doing, bro. Like, our parents do. They don't know what the fuck's going on, bro. We're all just in the same fucking place trying to figure this out. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely can say that, like, you know, for a long time I was like, oh, I could have done this different. I could have done this. If I would have did this, none of that shit even matters, bro. There's nothing I could do to change what happened. You know what I mean? And I know now that I did the best I could with what I had.
Yeah.
You know? And I really had to come to terms with that in order to be where I'm at today. I just celebrated 2 years of sobriety on
Congrats.
April 20th.
I can hear how genuine you are in your voice. Like, I can tell. Like,
thanks.
Seriously, that. Like, I can hear it. So I believe you. You did the best you fucking could with what you had. And it wasn't a lot, but did the best you could.
You know, just the thought of perpetuating that cycle, dude.
Yeah.
Just fuck, bro. Like.
But little did you know, I mean, he was probably genetically predisposed as well.
Definitely. Both my parents are alcoholics, dude.
So,
my mom's an alcoholic. I don't know about my dad's dad.
Like,
but yes, dude.
At the end of the day,
the odds are against
unfortunately, yes, that is the case. The odds
are against us. So, you know, real quick, while I had that first house in Saybrook, you know, at that time, my dad started dating this fucking girl who was younger than me, dude. And they would come over like once a month. And it was cool, actually, you know, like he would come and put some food in my fridge and we would grill out. He would stay a couple nights, dude. I got to tell I remember, I'll never forget the first day I got to tell my dad to take his shoes off in my house, dude. That was a fucking big moment for me because, like I said, we never, ever got along. Like, he never liked me or something. Like, I don't know what it was, but, like, during this time, still to this day, during this time period that I'm telling you guys about, that was the most respect I ever got out of that man. You know what I mean?
Take your shoes. Please take your shoes
off.
off.
Yes.
This is my house.
Nut, dude, about that kind of shit. Like, dude, my house is clean, you know. But
it's good.
So, where do I want to go, man? From here, my dad actually got his shit together for a little bit. He got a house. He got himself rented a house in the Menor Headlands.
He gets sober. Or just kind of like
just somehow
reeled
pull
it
a
in.
fucking rabbit out of his ass.
God.
You know what I mean? I don't think he's ever been sober. As a matter of fact, I haven't spoke to him in years. My brother does have contact with him, I think, through Facebook Messenger or something. And the last I heard, he was living in a tent in some kid's yard.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
When does shit start going crazy for you?
That's where we're going right now. So, oh God. So, my dad, like I said, got his shit together a little bit, and my brother ends up moving in with him. Goes to high school in Menor. Menor's a big school, dude. I think they're like, what are they, D1, Richie?
Oh, damn.
It's a serious school.
Oh,
it's like
fuck.
a college campus, dude.
Yeah.
So shit still hasn't gotten terrible for me yet. I'm still absolutely an alcoholic. Had no idea, you know.
One felony conviction.
One felony conviction. I ended up picking up a couple more felonies.
Oh, okay. All right.
I got pulled over with 6 ounces of weed in Newberry. But yeah, it was pretty much just the one felony for a long time. You know what I mean? Again, I wasn't a good criminal. I was good at selling weed, but I wasn't like a fucking criminal. You know what I mean? In my head.
I don't think there are. I mean, are there good criminals?
I feel like the house always wins,
I've
man.
seen a couple. I've but the thing is, like, the ones I met were in jail when I met them.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's like you don't really find good criminals. It's hard to be good at because you're gonna get fucking caught
sooner or later.
every time. Like,
yeah, I remember when I started doing dope, somebody said something that stuck to me. They said, you know, this shit only ends in 2 ways: a case or a casket. You know.
Yeah.
So we'll fast forward. You know, I meet a girl. She was actually going to school down here at Hawking.
okay.
We were together for a long time.
College?
Yeah, she was going to
college.
Hawking College. I didn't go to college, but I met her from selling weed. She was actually selling weed, and that's how I met her. I bought weed off her, and then
nice.
it was like the match made in heaven, right?
Perfect. Perfect.
We dated for a long time, for like 8 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
I let that one get away. You know what I mean? She was.
You think so?
I mean, I just wasn't on her level. You know, she's married now. She was a good girl, dude.
Cleaned up.
She
cleaned
was. She
everything up.
wasn't. She was not an alcoholic.
Oh, she just sold
Just
weed.
sold some weed.
Yeah, she's not at all an alcoholic. She's never experienced this life.
I get that.
You know, to her credit, she's an amazing woman. I'm lucky to have known her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put her through hell, but I'm lucky to have known her. So, shit doesn't get fucked up for me until I'm introduced to Percocet 30s. Yes. Dude, I was just a weed person, dude, for a really, really long time. From the time I found it when I was 12 years old until I'm like 23, I think. 24 is when I was introduced to Perks. And it was one of my buddies, man. He had moved up here from New York to get sober from heroin. And like, bro, I hadn't like that sounds crazy to me, right?
Right.
Fuck, just what's wrong with, like, let's just smoke a little bit of weed, dude. You know, everything will be fine.
Yeah, you think about heroin, you think about like the worst, the scum of the earth, the guy behind the dumpster, fucking, yeah.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah, it's the stereotypical thought that enters people's heads.
This was a good dude, though, man. He's give you the fucking shirt off his back, bro. But it sucks, dude. He moved up here to get sober, and he moved up here, and his dad dating this woman who broke her back, and she gets a fucking steady prescription of perk. She gets 120 perk 30s a month, and she gets $15,000 a month in alimony.
Damn.
So about 2 weeks into the month, she runs out of perks, and then she sends us down to fucking Youngstown with $4,000 and her fucking Lincoln to get a big bag of fucking pills, right? And I wasn't even doing it. I would just go, you know, I would go with them to do this just because I was just hanging out, right? One day I was like, let me try one of those. And my dude's like, I'll never forget this. My dude goes, I don't know, bro. He said, once you have the knowledge, you can't unknow it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, God, if that's
wise words.
If that's not the truth.
Once you have the knowledge, you can't unknow it.
Yep.
I'm like, man, fuck you. I said, there ain't nothing the size of my pinky nail that's ever going to stop me from doing anything, right?
That's wild coming from someone who's like got felony convictions and has like been to jail already. But I get it. I get the attitude because it comes with the territory.
I had no idea what I was talking about, dude. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, right? And it started off cool. You know, I would just take a half. I'd get nauseous. This lady had a mansion, bro, in Concord. She had a movie theater in her fucking basement, bro. Like,
God damn.
Full theater seating, a fucking concession stand in there and everything. So, like, I would take a half a perk, bro, and I would go in the movie theater and just close the door. Well, no, like, I had to ride that nausea wave out, so I would shut all the lights off and just recline back in the chair, dude, until I wasn't nauseous anymore. And, like, the kind of person I am, dude, opiates, like, activate me. Like, you know, some people, like, they...
Like, energize you?
Yeah. I get activated when I do opiates. Like, I can fucking build a house, tear down a house and rebuild it if I'm on a fucking perk 30, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, this was another pivotal moment in my life. Again, I had no idea the road that I had just stepped on, you know? And I kept it together for a long time, dude. Didn't know about being dope sick, going through withdrawals.
Because you just had pills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this lady she was cool as fuck, honestly. She was from
England.
England.
I bet she was. God damn. Mansion, fucking money,
perk
30s.
30s? Yeah, you had me at perk 30s.
Like the fucking baddest bitch of all time.
She was from England. She was kind of like you know, my sick, twisted fucking brain kind of like gravitated towards her like a mother figure, you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, essentially, you know, I'm a mama's boy, dude. My mom raised me, you know what I mean? Again, I told you guys in the beginning, like, you know, anything that you see in me good without knowing me came from my mother.
Right.
So, like, I am, to my core, a mama's boy, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, you know, I've arrived.
Yeah, you were saying that you went a while without even knowing what dope sick meant.
Yeah, I sure
the
did.
pills were just there, so you didn't go without for a while.
So, like, I remember starting to notice that, dude, just everything was better, dude. Like, the sky was bluer when I was on a fucking perk, dude. The fucking food tasted better. A cigarette was better. Everything was better when I was on a Percocet, dude. It was crazy, man. It's crazy to me how fucking malevolent that is, bro. Like, they found a way to put all the best feelings and human emotions in
yeah, right into a tiny little
tiny pill, bro.
It's insane.
And what's even crazier is when they fucking came out, bro, they were marketing them things as not addictive.
Well, Oxycontin, I mean, for God's sakes, they had sales reps.
Yes.
Like, that would go around to doctors and, like, give them, like you know, do shit. Like, take you out to dinner, or let's go get some drinks.
Yep.
Here's a fucking Oxycontin 80 plushie toy. Like, crazy shit.
Did you ever see that documentary that they made? I forget what it was called.
There's so many, but yeah, I'm sure I have.
Netflix.
I've watched.
Very
I think
interesting.
I watched that.
Yeah.
There's one called American Pain. I think that's on like Hulu or Paramount Plus. Check it out. It's fucking
All right.
sick.
American Pain.
Yeah, it's
I'm
really
looking
good.
for something new to watch right now. Me and my woman
American Pain is sick.
binge watch.
It's about the pill mills.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean 2008, 2009.
What a time, right?
What a time.
What a time
What
to
a
be
country.
alive. Shit. Yeah, so I kept it together for a while. You know, I started small. I would, you know, I thought I had control over it because I'm a fucking control freak, right? So like
So you had no idea initially, like, really what you were doing.
No, I had a small idea, but I didn't. There's no way that I could have understood the gravity of the situation that I was getting myself into, right? I noticed some things about my friend, about like you know, I noticed like, but bro, he was in deep. Like, he was shooting 30s. He was doing like 2 at a time. Like he would go through like 10 to 15 a day, bro.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
golly, it's a
holy
fuck
shit,
of a
right?
habit. Yeah.
That's
I
a lot.
never, at my peak of the 30s, like before I found dope, at my peak, I still was only a 1 a day person. Very rarely would I ever do 2 30s in a day. Well, first of all, I can't afford it. You know what I mean? Because like when the lady who had him first, when that was all done with, you know, because eventually, you know, everything what goes up must come down, right?
Right.
So
And when Purdue changed the formula on OxyContin, everything got fucking flipped on its head. And
bro, these were like the M boxes, the fucking A's, and the fuck, dude.
I'm familiar. Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
I remember the ones with like the blue crystals in them.
I looked down on those.
Yeah, the little dark blue spots.
Yeah, like looked like the mints.
I never did the 30s. I would always only do the Oxy 80s, and I would sell the 30s. I thought the 30s were bullshit.
Really?
Oxy, like the OC 80s.
I never did. We were
shit.
just talking about that on the way down here. I've never done an OC or an Opiate.
Oh god.
Those were just like
the Mecca.
The 30s were whatever, but the 80s were.
Yeah, 30s like foreplay.
Yeah. That's how it felt.
You know, the kind of person I was, dude. Like, I don't like to not be in control. So like, I never like my mom and like my brother, like, they got a big hole to fill. Like, so like when they get high, bro, like they're fucking asleep, standing up, pale as a fucking ghost. You know, I find my mom fucking bent over at the waist, touching the floor, dude.
Yep.
Fucking, just so sad, dude. But I never ever like to get like that because. You got to think, dude, like, I was the only responsible one in my life, dude. Like, I was the one taking care of every fucking thing and every fucking buddy but myself. You know what I mean? So, like, I didn't have the luxury to goddamn get that high, you know? At that point, I was just fucking trying to fucking have enough energy to goddamn take care of everybody, dude, you know?
Just winging it every day, really.
Really. So, let me think, dude. So, you know, it didn't really... I can remember back to the time when it started to affect my relationship.
Do you remember what year this was?
God, I'm so bad with time, bro. You know what I was thinking about, dude, is, like, there's so many things, bro, that I don't remember because, like, I learned this in counseling, actually, dude. Like, it's like it's like a trauma response, dude. Like, my brain, like, I'm missing...
It.
You know, I've done a lot of Xanax, too. I went through a whole Xanax phase, you know, but it was in my mid-20s, and I'm 35.
All right, so 2000...
Like
11, yeah, maybe
12 13.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, because, like, I don't even think about that, dude. So I can remember when it started to affect my relationship, you know, because...
And it was that chick, right?
Yeah, the girl I was with for a long time. Because obviously, you know, like, I was putting more energy into trying to get, you know, make sure I had Percocets, and she was last. She was not first, right?
No. Nobody is.
No. Nobody is. That shit is first before everything, dude.
Has to be.
Yes. So then, yeah, dude. So eventually she got sick of my shit. I ended up, when I was 26, I got this job where I was driving around the country, dude. Again, I grew up dirt poor in Ohio. Never thought I'd see anything west of Illinois. And all of a sudden, dude, in fucking a week, they sent me from, this is cool shit I'm about to tell you guys, dude. About to tell you guys how I met the universe, dude. And I met God in fucking Albuquerque, New Mexico, dudes.
Albuquerque,
yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm on perk still.
Did you meet Walter White out there?
No.
Oh, damn. All right, fuck.
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm on perks still, right? So, like, you know, I would load up on perks. I would
have to.
I would get like 15. I'd get as many of them as I could, right? And have an ounce of weed on me, and I'd fucking set off, dude. It was funny because the guy who got me this job is this old man who went to high school with the dude who part owner of this company in Lakewood called Wingstar, and they had a fleet of Dodge Ram ProMaster 3500s that they turned into flatbeds, and they put these little like aluminum frame that you could raise up. And then they put them heavy-duty tarps around it. So it was like a makeshift box truck.
Yeah, it's called...
Expeditors or something.
Yeah, but there's a name for the truck, and I should know it.
Hot Shot.
Yeah, yes.
They called us Hot Shots.
Yeah, Hot Shots, yes.
So, dude, so I had to do the first trip I had to take with, you know, this old man who got me the job, right? Because he had to show me how to fucking...
So would he get you loads? Like, was that the thing?
No, I had a dispatch. All Ukrainians...
You had a dispatcher that would get you a load.
Yeah, and give me the coordinates and shit, right? It was me and this old man that I'm telling you about were the only two Americans that worked at this country, and then there was Bob, the guy who was part owners, right? So all my dispatches were Ukrainian.
Yep.
And they were fucking mean, dude.
Dude,
like, why are you not driving?
I worked in logistics. I was a broker, and shit, 90% of the people I talked to were not American. When I would get an American driver, I was like, fuck yes. Don't gotta worry about this truck tonight.
Yeah.
Like, they'll be on time.
As long as the fucking wheels were rolling, dude, they didn't care what you did. You could have been fucking snorting meth off of strippers' assholes, dude. And if you got there on time,
just get there on time.
You can do whatever you want to in between, right? They did not give a shit.
Yep.
So first week on the job, dude, I go from Ohio to Alamo, Tennessee, from Alamo, Tennessee to Phoenix, Arizona. What a fucking culture shock that was, right? I'm fucking a tourist everywhere I go still. Even coming into Columbus, dude, I'm fucking, ooh, ah, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'd really never seen shit, you know? So I remember being in Missouri, and I'm, like, out the window filming the arches on my fucking iPhone 6. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And the guy
St.
who
Louis?
was, the guy who was driving, he's laughing at me. He's like, you know, you're funny. And I'm like, why? He's like, oh, cause if you think that's something, and he's like, wait till you see Albuquerque. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And the way he described it was like, basically, like, imagine seeing the fireworks, like, over Lake Erie and then going to damn China where they made them and seeing them, right? Okay. I was like, yeah, whatever, right? I had no idea what the fuck he was talking about. So we're driving. I remember I was driving through the panhandle of Texas, and I was starting to get tired. And I'm like, all right. And the way these trucks were set up, it was just a two-seater.
Oh, you were a team. You were a team drivers.
He was just training me, right? Like,
okay.
It wasn't meant to be tandem or whatever, but I had to go with him so he could, you know, make sure I'm not stupid.
Right.
And, you know, so, because you had to secure the load. That was your job.
Yep.
You know, make sure that it wasn't going to tip
over.
over.
Seals good, yeah.
And do the paperwork and all that stuff.
Yep.
So he had to show me that. I remember I was getting tired, and the way the truck was set up, it was a two-seater, and there was this thing over the cab. It's called a sleeper cab. It's like big enough for one person. We used to call it the coffin. And I'm like, all right, I'm getting tired. I'm going to go up and get some sleep. He's like, all right, I'll wake you up before we get to Albuquerque. And I'm like, okay.
What is this Albuquerque?
Fucking dude in Albuquerque,
what is this Albuquerque
yeah.
shit?
Right. He had no idea even what was
They
gonna
call
happen.
it the land of enchantment.
Brother.
That's what they call it.
So, you know, it felt like 10 minutes went by, and he's fucking knocking on the thing, right? And I get up, and he had pulled off the freeway, and we were about 30 miles east of Albuquerque. We were heading east to west, so we hadn't made it in there yet. And the topography out there is incredible. It's extremely diverse. You know, 1 minute you're fucking above sea level, and it's fucking 0 degrees, and then you're down in Albuquerque, you're below sea level. So it's like, I remember it was like midnight as we're driving through Albuquerque, right? It was like 63 degrees or something, right? And I'm just like blown away, dude. It was so beautiful. It's like every bridge you went under, it was lit up every color of the rainbow, right? It just seemed to me like whoever lived there cared so much about where they lived, dude. Like, it wasn't like here where in the median there's just grass growing fucked up.
Trash,
dude,
and
there's
shit.
fucking like these beautiful rock formations of different color rocks that like they make like lizards, and like there's these giant clay pots that I'm gonna assume a real Indian painted these. You know what I mean? Like, it's incredible. I was fucking blown away. It was I was like, wow, this is what he meant, right? Cool. Well, it was short-lived because, like, you know, it doesn't take very long to get through Albuquerque, right? So we're driving, and just, like, I want to preface this with, like, I was not on any, like, hallucinogenic drugs.
You weren't tripping sack.
Nope. At the time, I was smoking pot, and I was still doing Percocets, but I couldn't just be doing Percocets. I had to fucking ration my shit. So, like, you know, I would do, like...
You're on the road. Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah, I would do a half at a time.
Don't run out.
You know what I mean? Because I wasn't trying to get sick or whatever. But so we're driving, dude, and we get through Albuquerque. And so, like, all right, look, dude. As humans, we perceive time to be linear, correct?
Sure.
So I can only explain this. It might not make sense to you guys. That's why I'm saying this, right? Like, I can only explain it linear, how it happened, right? So we're driving, dude, and I'm fucking just bebopping along, dude, and the next thing I know, I remember looking over at the speedometer and noticing the temperature had dropped like almost 20 degrees within an hour, or maybe, like, you know, it couldn't have been more than 2 hours, right? Since we had been driving, however long it takes to travel 50 miles
You were
through the mountains.
You were in the desert.
Yes. So it went from being 63 to almost like,
Yeah.
dude, it almost dropped 20 degrees, right? And I'm like, oh, that's weird. You know, next thing that happened to me was I fucking turned my stupid face this way, dude, to look out the window. And I'm just like, stop the car. And he's like, what? I'm like, stop the car now. Dude stops, and mind you, we're in the middle of, like, we're driving down, like, the freeway, but the freeways out there are different, dude. Dude, it's crazy, like, windy, right?
Really?
So I get out, and the only way I can explain this is it seemed like if I could have climbed on top of the rock that I was standing next to, I could have literally grabbed the star I was looking at, dude. And for some reason, in that moment, I was filled with the most powerful feeling of love and, like, just, like, it's going to be okay. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
So you were, like, in the desert at night in Albuquerque or just outside of Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And you could see, I mean, I'm sure the stars are fucking beautiful out there because there's no lights. You're in the, you know, you're in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
The mountains. Because I know the first time, like, I went to Vegas and I saw the mountains, it looked fake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, that doesn't even look real.
Yeah, dude. The first time I seen the Rockies, bro, I wept like a baby, dude.
Like, it's nuts. Yeah. There's so much out there.
So, I don't know what's going on in me, right? And, like, the only thing I could think to do is fucking call somebody, dude. So I call, her name was Danielle. You know, we were still together, but it was over, you know what I mean? She just hadn't said the word yet, you know? She don't answer. Mind you, it's like, you know, there's a time difference, so it was late back in Ohio. It was like probably 2 in the morning, maybe closer to 3 in the morning in Albuquerque. I had to be a little over 50 miles west of Albuquerque at this point when this was happening, right?
Okay.
She don't answer. I call my brother. He don't answer. I call my mom. She picks up. And I'm like, dude, a fucking mess, dude. I'm like, Mom, right? And she's like, what? Are you okay? And I'm like, yes, I'm fine. Dude, only thing I could think of in that moment was that if I could just, whatever's happening inside of me, if I could just take a fucking sliver of it and just touch, like, my brother with it, right?
Keep it.
Dude, and like, I know that we have a creator. Like, I don't want to get too political or religious on here or whatever like that, but, you know, this is just my belief, dude.
Something bigger than us.
I know, like, you know, it's there's evidence for it all around. A man did not create color.
Well, I don't make the sun come up in the morning.
Exactly.
I don't know about you.
No, sir.
Okay, so, yeah.
A man did not create color. Think about that, dude. Color occurs naturally in nature, dude. Fuck.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it was as easy as putting my brother in the truck and driving him fucking 50 miles west of Albuquerque at 3 o'clock in the morning and kicking him out and say, look up, I would have already done that. You know what I mean? But it was definitely, in my head, it was God was reaching out to me in that moment. I wasn't ready for it. I didn't have any idea what was going on, but it was a big moment in my life, dude, right?
That's cool.
It stuck with me. It will forever, you know?
I can tell.
I appreciate you guys, like, even, like, giving me an opportunity to tell that story, dude, because, like, it's...
Dude.
And I wish I could elaborate a little bit better, but that's what I got, you know, so...
Yeah, you had, like, a spiritual experience.
Absolutely. Yes,
like,
100%.
In the desert in the middle of the night.
50 miles west of Albuquerque.
It's cool shit,
I can only imagine what stars look like out there at night.
Nothing out here that even comes close.
No.
So, what ends up happening is, you know, I end up doing that job for a little while, right? But I was on perks. So eventually the perks won. And I remember I get out to fucking Vegas, dude. I had a delivery in Vegas. And that would have been my biggest check because I got paid like 32 cents a mile, right? So I get out to fucking Vegas.
You didn't get paid per load?
No, I got paid 32 cents a mile.
Okay.
So it was like feast or famine, you know. There'd be some weeks where I'd make over $1,000. There'd be some weeks where I'd make fucking $150. Right. You know what I mean? But
plus,
it was cool.
You're not doing full truckload either. Like,
no,
that's the thing. You're doing
the max limit.
LTL. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not commercial, so I don't even need a CDL.
Yeah.
I think my max load was 5,000 pounds or 5,500 or something, right? So, Bro, I get out to Vegas, and I got 1 perk left. And I'm like, this is all bad, right? This is going to be bad.
Yeah, that's a long trip
That
home.
would terrify me.
Bro, I was fucked up about this.
I would be so scared.
So, all right, this is what happened. I drop the load off, right? And, like, bro, I don't even like people, man. So, like, you know, Vegas, like, if I'm, like, thinking about a vacation destination, it's absolutely not Vegas.
Not for you.
But it's still, bro, I'm like, this is cool as fuck, dude. I'm fucking awestruck, dude. All the lights, all the people. You got Mexicans walking around flipping cars.
It's so
I'm like,
cool.
what's that? And then I look on the ground, they're fucking advertising hookers and shit, dude. Like, just a whole nother world, bro, from where I grew, you know. Nothing like what I know, you know. So, you know, I was a little culture shocked, you know, but I'm like, you know, what am I going to do here, right? Don't have many options, right? So what I ended up deciding to do was, I'm like, fuck it. If you've been to Vegas, you know the hotel rooms are stupid cheap out there.
Yeah,
they're
they're
a really nice
dumb,
hotel room for like $75.
Cheap. Yeah.
And dude, the hotels are incredible. So I ended up getting a hotel room in the old Elvis Hotel off the strip, like, and I decided what I was gonna do was, I was gonna enjoy the time I had left, not being sick, and fucking cross that bridge when I came to it, right? So what I did was, went up into my hotel. It was so fucking hot out there, bro. There was no way I was sleeping in the truck in fucking Nevada, dude. No fucking way.
Oh, I'm sure.
Got a shower, got dressed, and I hit the strip. Did half my perk.
Use your last pill,
Fuck
or half of it.
Yeah, I did half my perk. I had like a couple joints left. You know, I was down bad on all fronts, dude, right? Dude, I got this video on YouTube, man. So, like, during this time, there was a soccer game, a big soccer game going on, right? And, like, it seemed like everybody from Ireland was in my hotel. It was so crazy, bro, right? I didn't know what was going on, right? So I hit the strip. I walk around for hours, dude, right? I'm starting to get tired. I was exhausted, really. So I'm going back to the hotel room, and I'm like, as I'm walking up to the hotel, as I'm like approaching the parking lot, I hear this noise, and I'm like, what the fuck is that noise, right? And as I'm getting closer to the hotel, it starts to get louder. Well, all these Irish people were in the lobby of this hotel, and they were all like arm over each other singing this song, celebrating something. Bro, it was incredible. This lady and her husband, this lady grabs me. They hand me a beer, and I'm like, when is anything like this ever going to happen to me again? This is important. It's like, this is the reason why I'm telling you this. Like, man, I never thought I'd be in a situation like this. Like, who gets the opportunity to fucking party in Vegas with the Irish?
Yeah, human connection. Like, met a random fucking person, and
I got Irish in me, you know what I mean? Like, that's part of my heritage, dude. Like,
that's fun.
What the fuck, bro? I didn't want nothing to do with it, dude. Just because I'm not rude, I stayed there. I drank the beer they gave me until they finished the song, and then I went straight up to my hotel room, dude, and that was it for me, right? Woke up the next day, fucked up, bro, in a panic, dude. To make a long story short, I drove from Vegas to Cleveland, Ohio, empty. Clearly relinquished that job.
You didn't try to find drugs in Vegas?
No, I had no money. I had no money, bro.
Every time I go out,
I had a company credit card, bro. There was nothing I could do.
I was going to say, every time I go out, I'm so, like, I look so white that just everybody on the strip is like, yo, I got fucking this, I got this. Like, it's so easy. It's everywhere, and it's flattering, you know, that you think that I'm a fucking
somebody,
that I'm a drug addict and I'm gonna buy shit off you, but no, I'm not. But yeah, without money, it makes it kind of hard.
Yeah, I really didn't have, you know, I'm sure, like, if I could have stuck it, I might have figured. But dude, I was so tired, bro. Like, it was coming to the end of my run, like, with perks, you know what I mean? So, like, what ended up happening was I drove back to Cleveland empty, relinquished my job. I was so disappointed with myself, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
so you basically started getting sick and then quit? You drove back to Cleveland and were like, all right.
No. So my buddy's dad, the one who, with the perks, I had him meet me in Cleveland with perks, right? You know, so I got there. I was sick as fuck. I was shitting my pants, dude.
I can
you know what
imagine.
I mean? It was terrible, dude. Driving through the mountains, withdrawing, dude.
That's disgusting.
Fucking sucked, bro. But I was so disappointed in myself that what ended up happening was, dude, I got myself off perks, right? And I got that job back, and I did it again, not on perks. So I got to go out to California. I seen 47 states in 2 summers, dude. A couple of times I got my brother to come with me. I took my brother out. Ended up taking him to Laredo, Texas. We went through
old Laredo. Down fucking America's asshole. Fucking
if
Laredo.
you don't know Spanish down there, you can't even get McDonald's down there, bro.
I mean, that's deep in Texas.
It is. You're in Mexico, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I remember I was climbing these mountains in El Paso, and my phone said, "Welcome to Mexico." Like, whoa, cool, right?
Damn.
So, you know, fast forward, I got the job back, right? I get it. I do it the right way this time, right? I redeem myself in my head, right? But now, you know, a lot of things change with the landscape. You know, that lady's no longer available. Things have changed.
Yeah, pills
right?
are more expensive.
Yes.
Things are very different.
Now
yeah.
they're $1 a milligram.
Yep.
Now they're $10 over milligram.
Yeah.
$80. You can't just get one. You got to get 2 or you ain't getting shit. You know how it goes.
Yep.
So
or they're pressed.
Well, listen, I didn't run into that yet, right? I hadn't got there yet.
Fortunate.
I ain't got there yet. I still had some pretty decent connections, right? Like, and you can tell when they're fucking fake, dude.
Oh yeah.
You can fucking tell from a mile away.
There's good presses, but yeah, you're right.
So, what ends up happening is, dude, you know, I come back into town every that girl broke up with me when I was in Salt Lake City, Utah on my birthday, bro.
How'd you take that?
Not good. That shit almost killed me,
She
dude.
talked to you or text?
On the phone. You know, she's like,
she did.
you
did
know,
over the phone.
she's like, you know, we're not dating anymore. And I'm like, I didn't want to accept that. You know what I mean? That spiraled me off into a fucking Xanax hole for a couple years, bro. I don't even remember that time. I have very little recollection of like a couple years, dude. Just
damn.
Yeah, I was trying to die, bro. I'd wake up every morning and I would take 4 Xanax bars before I'd even move out of bed.
Fuck.
Keep an orange Gatorade next to my bed. I'd wake up. I call it breakfast bars, dude. Fucking.
Oh my god.
Eat 4 bars and then fucking start
Dog, that's
my day.
a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
I was a mess, dude. It was a mess, dude. I was fucking fighting with my little brother. I'd be throwing shit at my brother, dude. Like, I don't even remember it, dude. Like, I was an asshole, dude.
Yeah.
Like, for real. I was miserable, though, dude. I wanted to die. I didn't have nothing to live for, you know? So, it wasn't easy, or it wasn't hard to pick up, you know, opiates again.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Before, I was, like, trying to keep it together because, like, you know, I got this relationship. Fuck, dude, that shit was long gone, dog. That shit was gone a while ago, you know? So, what ends up happening, dude, this is nutty, too. So, I would come back into town, right? And I had missed my brother's 18th birthday. So, I told him, I said, what do you want to do for your birthday? I'll give you 3 options. When we had our first house in Saybrook, every time I would save up an extra $400 after rent was paid, him and I would go to Kalahari. That was like our little escape from reality. Him and I had a lot of, like, at least 3 of his birthdays there, you know, just me and him.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool, man. So I'm like, 18th birthday, I'm like, we can go to Kalahari, I'll take you to a strip club, let you throw some ones, or we can go to Saks Fifth and I'll get you a pair of Gucci sandals. He's like, Gucci sandals. Right? Right? That's what I do. Listen.
It's definitely number 3 on my list, but
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny.
So that's what we did. I would come back into town and I'd have like $1,000 in my bank, dude, and I'd go pick little brother up. And when I was in San Diego, I got into longboarding. I bought a Sector 9 longboard. That's where they come from in San Diego. So, like, you know, I got him one too. So, like, what we would do is, like, I'd go pick him up and we'd get a couple perks and we'd go to, like, the parking garages around Cleveland and fucking skate, dude. Have a blast, dude.
That's
right?
cool. Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Well, this one day, dude, that's what we're going to do. There's this little diner, cafe in Tremont called Lucky's, dude, and, like, it's fancy. You know, it was on that show, Dives, Diners, and Drive-Ins or some shit, right? So, like, that was, like, our fancy shit that we did, right? So, we go to get these perks, dude, and I'm calling this dude. He's like, yeah, come through. This dude was a fucking scumbag, dude. I shouldn't say he's dead now, but he just was so lazy, dude. You know, he was asking to get busted. He just wouldn't ever leave his house, dude.
Not a good dealer.
No, not at all. So I go to fucking pick these perks up, dude, and I knew he was hot. So, like, I parked, like, a couple streets down, and I skated to his house on my skateboard, right? I go in, I bought, like, 4 perks. I bought 4 30s. And he hands them to me without, like, a baggie, right? And I put them in my pocket, and I'm skating back. And 100 feet from my car, dude, we get surrounded on both sides of the street, dude. We were in Eastlake. Unmarked, marked cars, dude, they fucking surrounded my ass, dude. And what do? Fucking kick my skateboard up, and I walk right up to him, dude. I got 430s in my pocket, right? Bro, they were giving me some bullshit about, oh, there's been break-ins in the cars in the neighborhood. I'm like, what's going on? I knew he was being watched, right? It was obvious.
Is the neighborhood hot, or is it just him?
It's just him.
Okay.
And so they put me in the back of the car, bro. I ended up dry swallowing somehow, like fucking Harry. And there's a camera in your face, dude, right? And I told you, like, at my peak, I never really did more than 130 a day. Bro, I dry swallowed 4 perk 30s in the back of a cop car with a camera in my face. If we could find that mug shot, dude, it'd be worth, it'd be worth gold, bro. It'd be worth its weight in gold, that mug shot, dude. I still have never seen it to this day. I don't know how I kept it together, right? So I give my wallet to my brother. My brother walks across the street to the Walmart, has our mom come get him. I'm like, get me out of here. Go to my bank, go get the money out, get me out.
Wait, so what do you go to jail for?
I had a warrant in Lakewood.
Okay.
For I met up with some broad and sold her weed, and we were smoking weed in the metro parks, and we got fucking rolled up on a cop on a horse, bro.
Damn.
A horse cop got me, dog.
Smoking weed in a park. I mean, I feel like there's better things to do, but
yeah, and like, bro, if this was her neighborhood, bro, we were out in Rocky River. I'm like, she's like, you want to smoke? And I'm like, bro, she was trying to solicit prostitution to me, dude. She's like, she didn't want to pay me the $40 for the eighth. She's like, I'll give you head. I'm like, I'm cool. I said, I need the money, right?
Yeah.
I don't get down like that, dude. I ain't never paid for that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's free.
Plus, the drugs come first.
Right.
I was the same way. I didn't care.
So I never took care of that. So they took me out to Rocky River, dude. And somehow I didn't puke, dude. I remember falling asleep, standing up. They got me out, right? I was holding the puking with everything in me, bro. And we pull out, and of course a cop pulls out behind us and follows us for a minute. And then as soon as he breaks off, dude, I'm out the window. I'm never doing perks again, dude. I fucking, right, dog. I did perks again. So we're going to fast forward into the hard shit, dude. So, that goes on that way for a few years. Like I said, I met perks in my early 20s, and this went on until I was about 30 years old, dude.
Damn.
In 30 years old, and throughout that time, my mom had been to prison, gotten out.
And heroin usage is like, I mean, you obviously you've touched it, but like
no. Never touched
God
it. My
damn,
mom was
good
on
for
it, bro.
you. Holy shit.
My mom that's what she went to prison for, dude.
Bro, those pills were expensive as fuck.
Yeah, I was bougie, dude. At least I thought
Apparently
I was.
so, yeah. Fuck me.
I was just a hustler, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hadn't hit rock bottom yet, hadn't ran out of fucking avenues to explore, However I did it, I kept it going for a long time, dude. Yeah. But that lonely day comes, dude, and a whole bunch of shit happened, dude. My mom went to prison. I spent some money on a lawyer, got her out. She had to move in with me. She was on pretty strict probation. I had to take her to meetings 3 times a week. I had to take her to Cuyahoga to drop a screen randomly. And she did it. She got through it all, dude. And through that period, she got a job at a barn. And it was living quarters. So, like, she was getting paid to take care of this horse barn. And then there was an apartment attached to it. So one day, she's there. I don't got no money, dude. Right? I never ask her for shit. Like, money-wise, right? Because I know she's in deep with some shit, right? She's already, and I knew.
Enough problems of her own.
Right. She stayed off dope for long enough to get off probation, and then she right back to it. You know what I mean? She went to sub route and then traded her subs for dope. Like, you know how it goes, dude. Yeah. So I show up to the farm and I'm like, Ma, I need $40, and she's like, I don't got it. I'm like, come on, I never asked you for shit, bro. I'm about to be sick. I need $40. She's like, I don't got it. I'm like, all right, whatever. Fuck it, right? And I go to leave. She's like, well, I got something for you. It'll make you feel better. And I'm like, what is it? And she's like, it's a perk. I got a perk for you. And I'm like, I knew she didn't have a perk, bro. Perks are too expensive, right? I'd be lying to you if I told you I had no clue it was heroin. You know what I mean? There's just something about it, dude, where, like, I don't know, man. Like, feel like, you're safe with your mother. You know what I mean? Like, your mom will never let anything bad happen to you. You know what I mean? And, like, growing up, you have this conception of heroin, like, oh, the first time you do it, you're dead, right? That's it.
Yep, immediate consequences, it's over with.
Yep, well, it's not how it happened, dude.
Was it like powder? Or it was powder?
I didn't even ask her no questions, dude.
Yeah.
I knew
you
what
just
it was.
knew it would make you feel better. And
it did.
Well. Yeah.
It absolutely did. So the first time I did heroin, I was 31 years old.
Wow.
It's a good, yeah, damn. 31. You fucking lasted a long time on Percocets. That's not normal. At least not from what I've seen.
Yeah, I had a decent run, you know.
I certainly couldn't have done it. Fuck no.
So, fuck, dude.
So the first time you did heroin was with your mother?
Yes.
Or
yep.
it was given to you by your mother?
Yeah, we did it together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You IV or
no.
you snorted
no,
it?
She hadn't gotten an IV use yet. She was just snorting it. And it was a fucked up situation, dude. I found out that she had already done it with my brother before she's done it with me.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, my brother's 10 years younger than me.
How'd you react to that?
How can I react to it, dude? You know what I'm saying? What am I gonna be, the pot calling the kettle black? Of course I was fucking pissed, bro. And like, I still had like this. I've done a lot of growing since then. You know what I'm saying? So like, of course I got this mentality like, how could you do that to him? You know what I'm saying? Like, or I don't know, man.
No, I just know that
they hid it from me.
You took care of your brother, so like I have to imagine hearing that news like provoked some sort of emotion inside of you.
Well, they hid it from me for a reason, you know, because they knew that I was gonna be fucking livid, you know. And they still even hid it from me, like, you know, and then until it ended up. Now it's a family fucking affair, dog.
It's a family affair.
Yeah, dude. Now we're all
Everyone's
fucking now.
doing heroin.
Me, my brother, and my mom are all living in this barn, in this apartment. God, it was fucked up, dude. We were doing the dumbest shit, bro. She had this little Toyota Tacoma that had expired tags on it. None of us had licenses. She's got a warrant. I got a warrant. Jesse's got a warrant. And we're fucking driving to fucking East Cleveland to Caledonia Street, bro, to fucking pick up dope in a fucking truck with expired tags. It's a 2-seater truck.
Oh, boy.
And you all have
you're
warrants?
Asking for it.
Yeah, what are you
Asking
thinking?
For it.
Bro, the days it would snow would be the best days because I'd cover the license plate up with snow. Dude, there's like... And, of course, I'm the driver. No one's driving me, dude. You know? I got to be in control, right? There was a few times where because I drove, we evaded detainment, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But it was a fucked up situation, dude.
Yeah.
It was a fucked up situation, bro.
Yeah.
It was... And
you tell that story to a normal person, and they're going to be like, what in the fuck? To me, it's like, yeah, no, I get it.
Checks out.
Yeah, no, we get it. But you tell that story to a normal person, and they're going to be like, what in the fuck is going on over there?
Yeah, it gets worse, too.
It's common.
Yeah, it is
It's more common. It's not common. It's more common than people think.
I remember hearing that when you were telling your story, and I was like, he's right.
It really is. Because you did the same thing with your dad. With your dad.
Yep.
And, you know, like... You know, I don't have any animosity towards my mom. Like, you know, she's still out there, you know. And I spent a lot of years of my life really angry, you know, trying to lead a horse to water and make it drink, metaphorically, you know what I mean? And then it's kind of crazy being on both sides of it because, you know, now for the first time, now I know what she's going through, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it makes sense. You understand it.
Codependent, twisted fucking relationship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, it was so miserable, dude. Like they, when I say they, I'm talking about my mom and my brother, dude. Like, they were okay with spending every dollar we had on dope. The fucking the gas light would be on in the truck. We ain't got a fucking cigarette or a bite to eat. You know, and I'm like, no, we're keeping $20 at least, dude.
I'm just laughing.
$4 in the gas tank.
They played the same games.
You know, fuck, dude. And how do you explain that to a normal person? You know what I mean? I'm
surprised you saved $20.
It didn't work every time, but
yeah, I bet it didn't.
Fuck, dude. The last thing you want is to be fucking stranded on the side of the freeway with warrants and no license and a bag of dope. You know, so I don't know. Again, in that situation, I felt like I was the only responsible one. You know, but I mean, what the fuck? I'm
quote unquote responsible.
Yes. Thank you.
But I understand what you mean.
So it went on like that for a little while, and I ended up, you know, when you're getting high, dude, you got no desire to talk to women, you know. But I don't know. I think, you know, actually, I'll never forget this shit either, dude. This was before all this. I was still in my Xanax hole, dude, and God, I was just so miserable, dude. I would just lay on the floor in the bathroom and just cry, dude. I just wanted to die, dude. Like, you know, and I remember one day, dude, my brother comes in the bathroom and he's like, he had enough, dude. He's like, Joe, get up. You know, he said, have you ever read The Outsiders? No? Pony Boy?
Wait, maybe I have.
Yeah,
we had to read that, right?
Yeah.
Did we read that book?
You had to have, dude.
Yeah, I think maybe we did.
He said, Joe, get up.
I probably didn't actually read it, though, but
It's
go
a
ahead.
good movie, dude. Patrick Swayze's in
It's a
it.
great movie.
Yeah, I'm not a movie guy.
He goes, Joe, you're built like a Greek god. Get up. And he fucking made me a Tinder and, you know, got me back on my feet, dusted me off, right? Yep.
He made you a Tinder and got you back on your feet?
Yep, dusted me off, dude.
When was the turning point? What, like, I mean, obviously consequences, obviously pain, but, like, what really did it for you? Like, when were you like, fuck this shit? Like, I'm done.
It got worse from the barn. Shit went on like that for a while until we got kicked out of that place because my brother and my mom got pulled over in Bainbridge and they lied. They got away that day. This was on like a Wednesday, and they gave him. My brother had a warrant. They gave him. He told him that he was one of our cousins that lived in New Jersey. They let him go. 2 days later, they fucking show up at the fucking barn and chase my brother out the back door of the barn. My brother. It's February, dude. There's snow on the ground. This kid runs through the fucking woods, dude, with no shoes on and fucking.
Oh boy.
Yeah, dude, hides in a horse trailer at the adjacent farm, and they fucking drew down on him, got his ass, right. Well, I had met a girl on Tinder, right, and I ended up fucking getting myself out of there, right, but Jesse and my mom were still there, you know what I mean? So like all that shit happened, and. Dude,
you said they both had warrants, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both went that day?
No, they got off. No.
Or were those taken care of prior to that incident?
My mom somehow did not go to jail that day.
Okay.
But she, as a result of that, they charged her with lying. I forget what it's called. They lying to like
complicity or
something. Yeah,
something.
something like that,
Yeah.
right? She's actually just now, like, she just dealt with that. She got picked up in August.
Really?
Yeah, last year. And she
Damn.
spent some time in jail, went through withdrawal, the whole deal. You know how it goes.
Yep.
So, the girl I was with, dude, I told her, like, hey, you know, I need help. And she fucking took me to a detox center in Alliance. And I got my shit together for a little bit, right? They tried to give me subs when I left there, and I'm like, no, I didn't come in here to trade one addiction for another, you know what I mean? So I didn't take them, but I went and got them on the streets anyways. And then I eventually weaned myself off of those, and I was fine for a while, you know? I was on probation. I was doing what I was supposed to do. Dude, I had it sweet, but I only had to report once a month.
Damn.
And, you know, I did what I had to do, but then, you know, I was living in Little Italy, Cleveland, so, like, every surrounding area, bro, it's the Wild West out there.
How long did you string together?
Sober. 2 years.
Damn,
2
bud,
years?
That's pretty
Yeah.
significant
Yeah,
amount of
that's
time.
not nothing.
Off of opiates. I was still
Oh,
smoking
okay,
weed and
okay.
drinking and fuck, dude.
So
know
you
what I'm
weren't sober
saying?
at all?
No,
Okay.
I
Okay.
wasn't homeless,
Okay.
right? So
I got you.
one day I'm fucking driving, dude. I'm at a stoplight and this fucking dude in traffic throws a bag of dope in my car, dude. Fucking
I'm sorry, what?
yeah, in Cleveland, in fucking East Cleveland.
Why?
That's how it goes out there. You ain't never heard about that?
The fuck do you mean?
This dude in traffic threw a gram of dope into my fucking car, bro. In traffic.
Since when?
Are you buying the dope?
No. They're not dumb, dude. What do you mean? You know damn well.
So he saw you and was like, "That's a customer."
Yes. I was listening
just
to
threw
music.
you
But then
like
how
a
is
free
his
sample.
number? Is his number
Yes,
attached or something?
absolutely. Yep.
Damn.
A gram?
A gram, bro. And look, I didn't touch it for a minute. I had it. It took me 2 weeks to break.
Bro, I had to do the most fucked up shit to get
Yeah.
drugs. What the fuck? Shit thrown in your car?
Raining fucking dope out there.
God damn. A gram?
Listen, I'm not gonna get into the whole all the shit that happened to me in Cleveland because I don't like. My goal is to not come in here and just
tell war story
stories,
after
bro.
war story.
Like,
yeah.
You know, the stuff I've shared with you guys, it's a part of my life. It's a part of my journey. But like, I'm not gonna get. Dude, bro. I should not be alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I started smoking crack out there. My brother was living with. Finally, I got my brother out of the barn. I don't know what the fuck. Oh, my mom ends up in Geneva with some another scumbag, and my brother was staying on my couch, running from warrants. I was working at a restaurant, and he eventually got a job at this ghetto gas station at the end of our street, and it was only a matter of time before they got to him too. You know what I mean? He actually smoked crack before I did. Isn't that crazy to fucking say, dude?
Yeah, especially given like the timeline and the way you've shared things.
Dude, I never mentioned this, but when I was younger, my dad tried to get me to smoke crack with him a couple of times.
You wouldn't do it?
No, hell no. This was still when, like, you know, if you were doing anything other than weed, you were a scumbag to me.
You were a piece of shit.
Yeah. So, anyways, I started smoking crack, dude, and things go downhill really fast. I was 2 months away from completing probation in Geauga County, and stopped going, dude. You know,
you stopped reporting 2 months before time was up.
Yep. It was so that the guy threw the dope in my car or whatever, right? And of course I ended up doing it, and it lasted me so long, dude, because I just had to do the littlest bit, right? And then now me and my brother are back to doing dope again, you know, and hiding it from this girl, because she is not, dude. She's from Cleveland Heights, Fairmount Boulevard, bro. Like, money, you know what I mean?
Nice neighborhood.
Yeah, and she was a really good girl. I owe her an amends, an apology, you know, if I ever run into her.
That day'll come.
Yeah, so, yeah, shit got bad. To make a long story short, dude, shit got fucking bad real quick. You know, I never sold my shit when I was on heroin, but when I started smoking crack, dude,
different story.
Got rid of everything, dude. My watch, my TV, everything, dude. My house was damn near empty, bro. This one night, I was with this dude, man. I ended up meeting this dude in Little Italy who liked coke, right? He would come over, and, you know, we were fucking scumbags, dude. So, like, we showed him what crack was, and then he never did coke again, right? And he had money. He worked HVAC, so, like, he would just come over and spend, like, his whole paycheck, dude, and we'd just smoke crack all night.
Jesus.
Right, so, like, eventually, you know how, like, how do I explain this? Like, you know how, like, them situations, like, people are, like, selfish with, like, who's, like they're trying to fucking claim the person who's buying the drugs, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get him off on his own. Like, oh, you don't want to, just come pick me up. You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
That ends up happening. So, like, you know, I go on a fucking run with that dude. And then this dude had been up for a couple of days. We both kind of been up for a couple of days smoking crack, dude. And he started getting fucking weird, bro. And we go out to Cleveland. At this time, my mom was staying in this house, dude, down by the river, and it's ultimately where I ended up, because, you know, when I got kicked out of the apartment literally from the girl, I had nowhere to go. So, like, you know, I hung out with this dude for a little while, but it was like Christmas, dude. So, like, eventually he had to go home, and then I'm like, I was homeless in East Cleveland, dude, during Christmas.
Nothing.
Yeah, dude. Fucking eating out of the fucking, dude, I would go back behind, I forget the pizza spot, dude, Rascal House Pizza, dude. I'd go back there and fucking get the pizza that they threw away.
See what you could get.
Yeah, dude, fucking. So this one night, dude, this dude starts getting all loopy. And I don't even know how this shit escalated so quickly, but, dude, he starts driving like a fucking maniac, dude. And I'm like telling him, bro, chill out, chill out. And I didn't want to fucking smack him up because I wouldn't have a ride home. I wouldn't have a ride back to Geneva. Eventually, dude, he scared me, and I fucking smacked the dog shit out of him, right? And he kicked me out of his car. So now I'm fucking walking through East Cleveland, dude, and it's crazy because, like, I actually had a little bit of money because I was supposed to be out there getting my mom dope. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, oh, God, this story's fucked up, dude. So, I didn't have a fucking phone at this time, dude. And I end up at one of the dudes that I used to buy crack from in a super not desirable neighborhood, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Just white people aren't there, you know. And if you are there, you're there.
Yeah, it's hot.
You're there buying crack.
Yeah, and yes.
Everybody knows that.
Yes.
Including the police.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I'm there, dude, and I walk up to this dude, and I'm like, because he was like nicer dude. Like, I'm like, he'll let me use his phone. I knock on his door, dude, no one answers. Well, this Mexican dude comes outside across the street, and I'm like, hey, bro, I'm like, can I give you a couple $? I need to make a phone call. And he's like, come over here, dude. He was inviting me on his steps, dude. And I'm talking to him. I'm telling him, like, I got left out here, this and that. And he's like, bro, this dude let me sit in his van and wait for the dude that I smacked ended up coming to get me, but it was like 2 hours, bro. Wow. I'm sitting out there, right? So this dude, I ended up finding out this dude cut hair for the Cleveland Indians. Dude, he brought me in his house, dude, cut my hair, gave me a book bag with some food in it, dude, gave me a pair of fucking Timberland boots, bro. And as he's cutting my hair, he's like, casual as can be, he's like, yeah, he's like, you know, when you were knocking on the door, I seen the angel of death behind you. I said, what? And he just kept going. I'm like, hold up. I said, hit the brakes there, dude. I'm like, what'd you just say? He's like, yeah. He's like, I knew that if I didn't invite you in my house, you were going to die tonight.
Damn.
And I'm like, bro, what is he talking about, right? I'm like, what the fuck is this dude talking about?
That's trippy as
I said,
fuck.
can you explain what you mean? And he literally said, I'm like, you're telling me like you actually seen this, or you're just like imagine? He's like, no, when you were knocking on the door.
It wasn't like a feeling.
No, he said he's seen the angel of death standing behind me, over me. And he knew that if he didn't invite me in his house and I walked away from that porch, that I was going to die. He said a week and a half ago, somebody got shot in the neighborhood that I was in, and like it was late, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have been there, right? Crazy shit, right? So fucking eventually this dude finally comes back and picks me up, right? Mind you, like this is like my only story that I have about like that I may have been hallucinating, and I'm not sure if I was still to this day, right? So he comes and picks me back up, right? And I had $40 that I wanted to buy crack with. And then I had money that I was going to get my mom dope with. He agreed to stop and get my mom dope. She was going to be sick, right? Well, he was salty that I smacked him. So, like, I'm not stopping and getting you dope, right? But before all this happened, I gave him my $40 to get me some crack. Oh. So he takes me back to where my mom is. I still got my mom's money. Okay. Right? And I'm going to get out of the car, and I'm like, where's my shit? And he's like, I don't got it. I'm like, what do you mean you don't got it? And he's like, get the fuck out of my car. I'm like, I said, bro, it ain't going like that, bro. Are you kidding me? And this kid's 40 years old and still lives with his parents, bro. He's got no idea who he's dealing with. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Dude, so he fucking loses it again and fucking, bro, puts the car in drive and spins tires. And we're on a dirt road. Spins tires out the driveway up the hill. And he's fucking driving erratically, dude, and puts his car in the ditch on his side. I fucking lost it, dude. I start hitting this kid. I don't know how many times I hit him. Definitely broke my hand. Now I'm starting to get tired, right? And I didn't knock him out somehow. I'm just hitting him and hitting him and hitting him, dude. And now I'm getting tired. This dude fucking gets his seatbelt off, dude, and gets on top of me and starts choking me, dude. And I still got my seatbelt on, right? Somehow I get my seatbelt off and fucking kick my way out of the car, dude, flat onto my back, lost his shoe, open his back door, grab my book bag that the dude gave me full of fucking food, and I'm running down the hill, right? Dude, this place that I'm telling you about, it's like the Bermuda Triangle, dude. Like nobody, you could kill somebody down there and nobody would find out for a long time. It's South County Line Road, dude. It was wintertime. I'm running, dude. I got one shoe on. I'm running down the hill, right? And this is where my mom ended up. She was staying at this dude's house. And this dude didn't do dope. He did meth, right? And you know how there's this weird dynamic between meth heads and dope heads, right? Like, they don't like each other. The meth people don't like the dope people don't like the meth people, right?
It's definitely a different vibe. That's for sure.
So, fucking, dude, I'm running down the hill. I end up pulling my other boot off, throwing it over the hill, and I'm knocking on the door, right? And no one's answering the door, and I know they're in there, right? Finally, my mom answers the door. She was dope sick. I go in there, and I'm fucked, dude. My hand is covered in blood. My hand's fucking broke, dude, covered in blood. And I'm like, you know, I just beat this dude up. You know what I mean? I just punched this dude until I couldn't fucking breathe anymore, right? And his car's in the ditch up the street. Well, the dude whose house it was, he goes, what the fuck? He's like, you got to go. He's like, you're making the spot hot. You got to go. This dude was such a pussy, dude. He had warrants for child support, bro. Motherfucker, they ain't coming in your house for child support, dude. Okay? So he fucking...
Not right now. They're not. Yeah, like not in that moment.
Dude, he makes me leave. I didn't have any shoes. So he literally, dude, he puts my mom's shoes facing out the door, right? I put my mom's shoes on, dude, and I run out the door, across the street, across the bridge, and I fucking jumped over the guardrail and I'm hiding in the woods, right? I knew the cops were coming. I knew they were coming. Oh, because when I was punching him, dude, he fucking got his phone and called the cops, right? And he goes, he's trying to rap. And I'm like, click. He had the screen on his phone.
Doesn't matter, though. He already dialed the number.
Bro,
yeah.
Done deal. I knew they were going to be there, right?
Yep.
So I'm hiding in the fucking woods, like under a log, dude, right? And I don't know. This is the part I'm telling you. I don't know if I was hallucinating or not, dude, right? Dude, I seen what I thought I seen. I seen something. I thought the cops had come walking down on foot, right? And they were walking across the bridge, right? Because I see like two figures. Well, the closer it got, they weren't walking. Something was floating, bro. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, dude, I don't know what it was. I don't know if I was hallucinating because I'd been fucked up for a couple of days. But the fuck, dude, it was bone chilling. It was like
hair on your neck.
Physical fear, hair. I'm like, oh, shit. So I get out from there. I run back to the house. And I knock back on the door. I'm like, bro, let me in the house.
The house you just got kicked out
Yes. I'm like, let me in the fucking house, dude. My mom's in there. Fucking let me in the house, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How you going to let me in?
I'm with you.
So now I see the spotlights coming down the hill. Here they come, right? So I fucking turn and I run, dude. And, dude, this dude's yard, like, if you walk out his front steps, you can literally hit the river with a rock, dude, right? So I fucking run out, dude. And he had a fucking canoe tied to like a chain. No.
You got in the canoe?
No.
Oh, damn it.
Worse. That would have been an easier route, dog, to get in the fucking canoe. But no, that's not what I did.
I thought you were gonna canoe away from the police. That was gonna be a first.
Dude, it was tied to a chain that was like connected to like anchored to his house, right? And I didn't see it, dude. You ate shit, bro. Fell right on my face, right? So I go, so like the way this, okay, so it was like a bridge, right? And you know, like the concrete pylon that holds the bridge up, right? So I go up, I approach the water, and I just like hugged the fucking pylon of the bridge, right? And I fucking got in the water. It's fucking wintertime, dude.
Yeah, you're probably freezing. I mean, your frostbite.
Bro, I
can't be far off.
Dude, I scaled the wall all the way around to where, like, you know, I had a less chance of getting seen. I had a big vintage Adidas jacket on. It was black. I thought, okay, if I can just get in the water from my waist up, I'll look like a trash bag. They won't even see me, right? Crazy shit, bro. This is, dude.
Did it work?
Yes, it worked, dude. They did not find me. I laid in the water. I fell asleep in the water, dude. Waist from my waist down to my feet were covered in water, and I'm just
that's called hypothermia, my guy.
I was gonna say, like, you had to have woken up and been just like.
I woke up. There was no spotlights.
I mean, how could you, like, your legs had to have been numb.
I don't know, bro. Listen, you ever seen them crazy videos where like a fucking crackheads who carrying a fridge? Or
I mean,
some
shit? I get it. It's that crackhead strength or whatever. Like,
I don't know what it was.
That is wild.
Yeah, it was fucked up, dude. And the state troopers called my ex-girlfriend, and my ex-girlfriend calls my grandma, dude. My grandma called. We hear from my grandma the next day. She's like, the state troopers are looking.
So how did you end up in drug court? Like, what landed you there? Because you evaded that disaster.
Yeah, barely evaded that disaster. Shit got really bad from there, bro. We ended up getting kicked out of that place and banished to the tent. So now,
Tent City.
My mom. No, it was just me and my mom in the tent in the woods by the river.
Wow.
This had to be the lowest part of my life, dude. What I'm telling you guys.
I mean, that's crazy. Like, sleeping with your mother in a tent, homeless, is fucking crazy.
And mind you, at this time, we had both transitioned to IV use. So, you know, now I'm fucking... Oh, God, I skipped something really important, bro. I've never seen anyone overdose until my mom overdosed, dude. This is the last fucked up story I'm going to tell.
Did you hit your mom? Or you did?
Yeah. Not this time.
I did too.
Not this time, but eventually my mom ran out of fucking veins, dude. She would make me shoot her in the neck. She'd fucking hold her breath and make her neck vein pop out. You know how dangerous that is, dude?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So, it's wintertime. This was after that whole fiasco, right? My mom somehow got my grandma's credit card connected to her Cash App, and she Cash Apped me $150, right? And she says, go to Cleveland and get us some dope. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm gonna get myself at least a 20 a crack.
Oh, yeah, come up.
We're gonna get some dope, you know what I'm saying? Not be sick. It's gonna be great, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking amazing. We're going back to our tent by the fucking river, and it's gonna be the best. Yeah.
So no, we hadn't gotten kicked out to the tent yet. This was right before we got kicked out to the tent.
Sorry.
So I had to back up a little bit. So all right. It was always very easy to find dope in Cleveland, bro. Right? You know, I lived out there for 2 years, so it's not hard at all. There'd be times where I'd run out of money. I didn't have no more money, and I was smoking crack, bro. I would fucking go to different gas stations off of St. Clair and Superior and act like I wanted to buy something and get these people to. I'm like 13 for 12 on samples, dude, in East Cleveland.
Wow. Yeah, that's not bad.
That's fucking the numbers, dude. I'm fucking.
That's pretty good.
Maniac tenacity,
you don't
right?
Miss. Yeah.
So this night, dude, I convinced somebody that I used to work with out there to come. I said, I'll pay you $50 if you come get me, take me out to Cleveland, and bring me back out here. He's like, sure. Comes and gets me, dude. Takes me all over the place, dude. I can't find no fucking dope. Everyone just has crack. And I'm like, I cannot go back with no dope, right? Can't do it. So I had one person that if I got to him, he worked first shift job, and if I got to him before 7 o'clock a.m., I could deal with him. If not, I had to wait till 3 o'clock. He lived in the fucking Wade Park apartment buildings, dude. Another super, super sketchy area that you don't want to be in unless you're buying dope. So I didn't find no dope that night, dude. So my dude's like, you can stay the night. We'll go see dude at Wade Park in the morning. I'll take you home. So that's exactly what we did. This dude's dope was always the same, dude. It was like that charcoal. It was like you had to like break it.
It's like a rock, like a
yeah, or shave it off, right?
Yeah.
So I get the dope. I get home. My mom's dog shit sick by this point, right? And I am like not far into IV use, right? It's probably been a couple of months, right? So I'm still like. The first time, dude, I couldn't hit my mom had to hit me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and kind of similar to your story, it got to the point, you know, when that happened, it got to the point to where now there wasn't enough dope for me to snort it and her to shoot it, right? So that's how it went. So anyway, so I get her up out of bed, I carry her to the bathroom, sit her on the toilet. She's sitting on the toilet. You know, I break off a chunk, give it to her. She's getting her shot ready on the back of the toilet. I got my back to her, and I'm, like, on this little table, right, getting my shot ready, and we're talking to each other, right? All of a sudden, she stops responding to me, and I'm like, hello? Bro, I turn around, and she's fucking seized up, bro, with a fucking rig in her hand like this. All the veins in her neck. I'm like, huh? I don't got no fucking Narcan, dude. I have never seen this happen before, right? Never seen this happen before. Dude, I thought she was going to stab me with the fucking needle. I couldn't get the needle out of her hand, dude. So a fucking idiot comes in, the dude that did meth that was standing there, and he's fucking screaming at me, and I'm like, motherfucker, I said, go, if you're not going to help me, get the fuck out of here. I said, go get me some snow. This fucking asshole comes back with a handful of snow. I said, bro, go get a grocery bag and fill it up with anything that you have frozen. How I knew to do this, I don't know. So he brings you back a fucking grocery bag full of snow, dude. I got my mom stood up in the bathroom with the shower down her shirt, right? And I'm shoving snow in her fucking ass, dude.
Mm-hmm. That's how you got to do it, though. Yeah, you got to.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
It took me an hour and like 40 minutes, dude, to fucking. Bro, she ain't coming back, dude. I will never forget the way her face looked, bro. Like, her eyes were different.
It's your mom,
She
bro.
wasn't there, dude. Like, it looked like it looked like, you know, like how they depict shit in scary movies, like ghosts, dude, like The Ring or some shit, bro. Like, her fucking eyes, dude, were like just gone, bro. Like, I was, dude. Oh, fuck. So I'm fucking screaming, Mom, smacking the shit out of her, dude. And at one point I realized I'm probably ruining this kid's floor, dude. Why I didn't think to put her in the bathtub sooner, I don't know. But have you ever, like, taken a baby and threw a baby up and they're like, ah? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
So I pick her up and I set her down in the bathtub. And for some reason, the motion of me picking her up and setting her down, she must have thought I was going to drop her because she came to. She came to for a second. I'm like, Ma. And she's right back, dude. So I'm fucking holding her up against the wall, holding her nose shut and breathing as hard as I can into her lungs, dude. And she's just like, and it sounded like somebody like coming up from under the water. You know what I'm saying, dude? And she's just drooling. And I'm like, dude, that for an hour and 40 minutes, dude. And then she just came back somehow, dude.
I mean, yeah, it's your mother, man. And that's really, really, really heavy. Really heavy. Most people wouldn't be brave enough to talk about it, or I mean, yeah, it's just heavy. It's heavy. Tell us when you turn the corner, man. Tell us about the drug court. Tell us about your recovery.
Yeah, so eventually I got arrested in Madison, fucking hillbilly Madison. Dude,
They're bad.
My mom fucking stole this dude's truck, bro. This dude's dead now. Nice brand new truck, dude. Stole this dude's truck and shows up to where I'm at, picks me up, and we go all the way out to fucking South Yulee because the dude we were getting dope from, bro, I was walking 7 miles one way every day to get dope, right? Because, you know, it was like the only person that I could find that wasn't in Cleveland that was selling dope, right? Fucking funny shit is, dude, I used to sell weed to this kid, you know? He's a little weasel. He is, dude, a little pussy. But, I get arrested, dude. Cops roll up on us. We were in the parking lot of fucking Madison Family Restaurant. Somebody called, said we were fucking shooting dope in the parking lot. Cops come up. I pull across the street to the gas station. Cops pull up. I'm in the store buying chocolate milk. I had a food cart. It wasn't even my food cart. I had a food cart. I was getting chocolate milk. And cop walks in there, and I'm like, fuck, dude. I don't have any dope on me.
Did you know, though?
Fuck yeah, dude. I got 2 rigs in my pocket, right? And why I didn't just take them out of my pocket and kick them under the thing, I don't know, dude, right? So I go up to the cash register. I'm like, is there a bathroom in here? She's like, no. And I'm like,
great.
Fuck it, right? I walk out. Don't even look at the truck. Number 1, I don't have my license. Number 2, I have a fucking warrant. You know what I'm saying? So, don't even look at the truck. He's like, motherfucker, where are you going? And I'm like, what's up, dude? He's like, is this your truck? I'm like, hell no. I don't even got my license. He's like, I seen you get out of it. I'm like, I looked. I noticed he didn't have his body cam on. I'm like, wasn't me, dude. Stuck to my story, dude. I didn't tell these motherfuckers my name for 3 days, dude. They would not turn my water on or the toilet on for 3 days when I was in jail, dude. So they get me. We're on our way to Lake County Jail. I'm fucking handcuffed. And this fucking hillbilly dude had the window all the way rolled down, dude. And we hit about 100 fucking red lights on the way from Madison to Painesville.
Detoxing.
And I told, no, I wasn't going through it yet, dude. I just fucking hit.
You said 3 days.
No, this is on the way to jail. I jumped
on the way. I got you.
So
I got you.
I wouldn't tell him my name, right? So he puts me in the back of a cop car. He's taking me to jail. On our way to jail, I told God, I said, if we hit one more red light, I'm shooting my shot. I had it all planned out, dude. I'm like, you know, I'm going to wait until he starts to go, because that means he's going to have to hit the brake, put it in park, take his seatbelt off. That's all going to give me extra seconds to fucking get the fuck up out of here, right? So that's what I did. I fucking handcuffed behind my back, dude. Fucking hopped my ass out the cop car window in the middle of Route 20. Did not make it. Got caught by my waist, right? Face down. This motherfucker gets out of the car, puts his knee on the back of my neck, dude. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? I had to try.
Yeah.
What a dumbass,
you
right?
You probably never stood a chance.
No, never. Not even close, dude. So they got me. Wouldn't tell them my name for 3 days. They shut my water off, shut my toilet off. Finally, dude, I didn't have any more left in me, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no more answers.
I had no more fight left in me. I always felt like the moment I stopped fighting, I was going to die. You know, but I was fighting the wrong thing. I couldn't get out of my own way. You know what I mean? So I spent 5 months in there. They sent me to a treatment center, a 90-day facility. Nice place, dude. I did
5 months as a whole in the county.
Yeah.
5 months as a whole.
It was. It sucked, dude.
Yeah, it's a whole.
Bro, I was 174 pounds when I came out of there. I was huge. So I get out, go to treatment. I'm not ready to get sober yet, you know. Meet a girl, end up relapsing at an NA anniversary meeting, left treatment, 3 o'clock in the morning. Dude, she sneaks me into her she was in a sober house already, dude. A mommy and me sober house. Sneaks
Yeah,
me
and
into
at that point, you don't give a shit because
No.
you've already fucking ruined your
Yeah.
6 months, 5 months,
Yes.
whatever.
Yep. Somebody gave me a Percocet at an NA anniversary meeting, and that week I was in South
What?
Euclid buying a gram of dope, dude. Yep.
Somebody gave you a Percocet at a recovery meeting?
Yeah.
Just gave it to you?
Yes. Yep.
You didn't ask?
No, I asked. I found out he had it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
I'm like, give
Sorry.
me one.
I thought someone just came up and was like, hey, here you
No,
go.
no.
Like, what the fuck?
No, I
crazy
asked
shit.
for it. He gave it to me, and
Why?
so I'll shorten this up.
Why are
So
people
like,
like
dude, shit gets really bad. I'm right back to shooting. You know what I'm saying? This girl has no idea what's going on. When she met me, she had her kid, a place to stay, and a car. Within less than 3 months, it was all gone. So
Except the kid, I hope.
the kid's gone.
still around, right?
He is now.
Okay. Yeah.
But what ends up happening is, dude, her mom showed up. You know, she was starting to act funny. You know, eventually she started using with me, obviously, right? So her mom shows up, and we're passed out in her bed, dude. Fucking blows the whole spot up, dude. Rips the kid out of her hands, dude. Fucking finds my box of needles on top of the bunk bed. Pulls her fucking sleeves up, sees the holes in her arm, dude. Drags her in the bathroom. This is the first time I met her parents, bro. How embarrassing, dude. This was the most embarrassing part of my life right now, what I'm telling you guys.
What a great way to meet, your significant other's parents.
So I fucking grab my shit and I run out the door. So I'm like, the cops are definitely coming here, right?
Yeah.
I run across the street to Longhorn, go in the bathroom, do a shot. She's blowing my phone up. I answer the phone. I'm like, what's up? She's like, where are you? I'm like, why? I didn't know her well enough yet to know if she was trying to set me up, right? So I'm like, I'm at Dunkin' Donuts, and I went and stood behind First Watch and watched her pull it in, make sure there was nobody with her. And there wasn't.
She came alone?
She came alone. And she fucking stayed solid, bro. She stayed solid, dude. Shit got fucked up for us. We ended up homeless again, you know. We were living in her car for a while until that stopped working, and then we were just sleeping wherever we could, dude. Fucked up situation, dude. And we eventually got caught at Walmart stealing lunch meat and grapes at the self-checkout.
Which I'm assuming you were actually going to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Starving, dude.
Is that what got you into the drug court program? That's what began
This was it for me,
cycle.
bro.
Yeah.
This is where this was it. I went back to jail for a month, and I had a choice to either go to prison or go to NeoCap. And
what's it called?
NeoCap.
NeoCamp?
NeoCap.
Cap.
NeoCap. It's in
Cap.
Warren.
Okay, NeoCap.
It's a cognitive-based treatment facility.
Okay.
It's a 5.5-month program, dude.
Familiar with that sort of facility, yeah.
So, you know, and we both get arrested on the same day. Our sobriety date is, God has a sense of humor because my sobriety date is 4/20.
Fuck yeah.
Funny shit, right?
Blaze it.
Right. So, I don't know, man. Something just happened to me when I was in NeoCap, dude.
That's so funny because that's the exact same kind of facility as where something happened to me, where I was just like, fuck this. Yeah. I'm just going to do this instead because it seems to work. Yeah. I've seen enough.
There was I was terrified because, like, you know, I didn't know how to be sober, dude. You know, it was a miserable existence getting high, but at least I knew what to expect, you know? Like, I had no idea what it looked like to be sober. I was
How long do you have now?
I celebrated 2 years, April 20th.
That's right, you just said that. Yeah, the crazy thing is, huge accomplishment. You keep going, so much stuff's going to change, and it's going to get better. I promise. It's wild. It is wild. Like, I always tell people, like, if you had given me, like, a contract when I was in a jail cell, and it said, like, job at McDonald's, shitty apartment, shitty car, bank account, girlfriend, I would have signed it. I would have signed it without thinking twice because I was so fucking desperate for something that wasn't what I was doing. and I would have fucked myself because my life is so much better than that today. No, not to shit on McDonald's employees or anything like that. I'm just saying it's like I was that desperate. Like,
desperation is a powerful thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So is pain. So is pain. You've seen a lot, my friend. You have seen a lot in 35 years on this planet, and you're going to help a lot of people.
That's the goal, man. You know, fuck, dude. Man, I don't know. I just, like you said, dude, I was done. I knew I was done, and so I really dove in and like looked inward, and I took what I was doing seriously.
Yeah, you went all in. You went all in.
To go over this shit, but like, dude, like I write, bro. Like this was my notebook from when I was in treatment with him, dude. I got a pile of these, bro, from the time I was in NeoCap until today. I still take notes. And like you said, if you could have, if you would have told me that I'd be sitting where I'm at right now at this place with you, the day I was in NeoCap and I decided that I'm done, bro, I would have fucked. I wouldn't have believed you, dude. You know.
Stop making jokes. That's not fucking funny. Yeah,
it's just
because it seems impossible.
It does. It really does seem impossible, dude. And I can tell you that, like, if I can get sober, I truly believe that anyone can get sober, dude.
Yeah,
I agree.
I say that on a regular basis. It's like bottom of the barrel dope fiend addicts like us can get clean. Like, it's not impossible for anybody.
Yeah, seriously. And you fucking shit. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everybody's story's different, but everything you shared and the emotion that you shared it with, it's a lot. Been through a lot. So I am, congratulations on 2 years.
Thanks.
I'm going to do what my sponsor did to me and tell you that you're in early recovery. Because I got 2 years and I thought I was hot shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I got 2 fucking years. And he's like, you're in early recovery. I was like, fuck you. Fuck you, don't know what you're talking about. He's got 35 years.
Yes.
But more will be revealed. And for the most part, it's good stuff. But life also will happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And the shit with your mom has, I mean, you know where that goes. I mean, I share it all the time. Like, I could do nothing. There was nothing I could do to get her sober. I tried everything. And all I could do was set an example.
Amen.
So.
Yeah. Amen.
Like, best of luck to you with that and your brother. And
my brother's doing really good, man.
That's good.
Good.
You know, and maybe one day in the future you'll get to hear his side of this story.
I would love that. I would seriously, I genuinely would love that. But more will be revealed, and I hope that the majority of it, I know that the majority of it will be good. As long as you're working a program.
Yeah. What a fucking wild ride, dude. You know?
I mean, yeah, it's insane. It's completely insane, is what it is.
And what's even more insane is how hard I fought to hold on to that. You know what I mean? Like, how hard
you literally stood in freezing water to hold on to it.
How hard
with no
fought,
shoes.
Dude, to fucking hold on to that, dude. Like, it's. I don't know, man. I appreciate you guys, man. This is a cool thing you guys are doing.
Thank you for the trip. Thanks for coming out and sharing your story with us, because it's vulnerability, and I have a feeling that a lot of people are gonna really, really enjoy your story and where you're at today. So thank you.
We're doing some cool stuff, you know.
Go ahead, plug your channels.
Yeah,
whatever they are.
The Gandee Show on TikTok.
The Gandee Show with a G, right?
Gandee. You know, it's just a little thing. I'm trying to build a community on TikTok of people that want to stay sober and encourage people and spread love and hope, man. And I really, really believe that it's out there, you know. I really, really do. I really believe that the people that are sitting in these seats, you, me, we are have a special qualification to be able to help people that are struggling with this thing, dude. And there's just some things that a book can't teach you, you know?
Yeah.
So
lived experience, in my opinion, from what I've seen, has trumped a college degree in a lot of cases. So keep that in mind. You never know who you might be able to help. Like, you just don't. So thank you, man. Seriously, thank you.
Thank you guys. Seriously, thank you guys for giving us this opportunity to just get up here and get vulnerable, dude, you know?
Of course. You got it. That's it. Easy.
Ooh, yeah.